Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the GDP Sports High School Football Broadcast. Tonight's game is brought to you by the following sponsors. Frost, more than a century of serving Texans and now in the Frost Tower. Central Builders, the Ehrlich family is dedicated to the construction industry with coast-to-coast projects. The law firm of Thomas J. Henry, open 24 hours with legal experts on call. John Lester's Insure One, providing Texans with home and auto protection. By Randolph Brooks Federal Credit Union, a credit union that puts people before profits. By APIA Connected Investors, Shannon DeLon, providing insurance for real estate investors. BCFS, a beacon of hope for families around the world. REMAX, by Chris Collins, buying or selling a dream home in the real estate world. GPS of Texas, peace of mind for all drivers with installed tracking devices. Dr. Eric Kuhl, providing that $1 million smile with a future of dental health. By Gridiron Heroes, dedicated to assisting young men suffering from football-related spinal cord injuries. Cherry Hills Baptist Church, where the Lord provides the football field for eternity. By Mecca Sportswear, supplying the leather jacket of pride for your school and sport. Eagle Print, where San Antonians take their printing for quality and satisfaction since 1974. Also brought to you by one name that stands out in the San Antonio rental car business, Budget Car and Truck Rental on Sandow Road just east of 281 North.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to Week 6 of the 2019 Prep Pigskin season as 6A teams return to the gridiron action and continue with the second half of a strange year in Alamo City. Tonight, the South Texas weather picture is changing faster than the opinions of a political pundit. The forecast indicates a drastic drop in the summer-like temperatures, and winds will probably affect the kicking game as we welcome you to our structure of bumps and bruises as the struggling MacArhur Brahmas will take on the hopeful Johnson Jaguars as the gate is wide open for the 2019 postseason playoffs. The Brahmas are 1-4 and 0-2 in district play. It's been a rebuilding year as the Big Bulls have been trying to rebuild from a 2-8 team in 2018 with a district mark of 2-5. It's been a struggle, even though the MAC packed 8 starters return on offense and 8 on defense. Now, with 70% of the starters back in the barn, fans may have felt they would be contenders in 2019, and that hasn't been the case thus far. It will still be a factor, though, in this very competitive district. It's been a few autumns since the Brahmas have been a dominant force in the pigskin picture, and the initial high school in the ISD has started back in 1950, a great history for the MacArhur Brahmas. Looking back at the history, we remember those seasons of success when MacArhur was a perennial power, and they were in the playoffs every year. Coaches like Van Fushak, Robert James, and others were really the mentors of choice. Now, there were the days of the Harrison brothers, Tommy and Billy, the Esquivel brothers, Joey Johnson. It's been several years since the Brahmas battled Midley in the state championship quarters at Cowboy Stadium so many years ago. The late Cedric Benson ran rampant that day for 250 yards. Now, you may not remember this. That was back in 2001. MacArhur was playing with 36 hours notice after the Katy Tigers had used an ineligible player in the semifinal game the week before, edging the Brahmas 14-7. That was in the Alamo Dome. But they used that ineligible player, and they gave MacArhur a choice. Do you want to go ahead and play in the final game, or just let Midland have the game without competition? Well, MacArhur, Coach Comalander, who was an athletic director, decided it's an opportunity of a lifetime for these kids. They'd even taken the decals off their helmets. They'd checked in all their gear, but they reissued it, and they went to Dallas that day and lost that ball game, but it was a memorable experience. So the Midland League coach was such a jerk, I can say that now, all these years later. He wouldn't even give MacArhur any video to study. I mean, here, these kids were playing their hearts out, and he wouldn't let them look at any video, so they didn't know what they were facing. Now, in recent years, hello, how you doing? In recent years, there have been some outstanding players like quarterback Tyler Vitt, who's now at North Texas. Hi, Jeannie. And some people come in the press box, which we like all the time. The Jaguars are getting stronger every week with a record of 4-2 and a 2-0 in district play. They are led by Justin Rodriguez, a bundle of dynamite, rushing with almost 700 yards, and he has more than, he's got 10 touchdowns. Ty Reasoner is the Jags field general, of course, and he's been a consistent passer when he's gone to the air. For the Brahmas, senior quarterback Austin A. has 4.7 speed and helps to direct an upset tonight. It could happen, you never know in this district. I'm Gary DeLon, of course, along with Chase Holly, Mark Witherell, Charles Vickers, Rob Hicks, and Walter Stoops. That's our regular crew. We're here at Comalander Stadium tonight, and we're always glad to be here in the massive press booth because we don't have much room at Herald Stadium. We'll provide the information for tonight's crash, and we'll return in just a minute or so. Chase Holly will be back here to give you some more details, and we'll hear from the coaches. This is Frost High School football.
The most important team member isn't always playing in the game. Sometimes they hold a clipboard on the sideline. A good coach doesn't just call plays. They instill confidence in the individual and help the team overcome adversity. At Frost, we believe that good coaching in your financial life can accomplish the same thing. After all, if we believe in you and you believe in you, anything is possible. Frost. Opt for optimism.
APIA specializes in real estate investor insurance. For years, investors have struggled managing individual insurance policies. So APIA built a program to put investors' properties under one insurance policy. They've been helping investors save time and improve cash flow nationwide since 2001. APIA has the flexibility to meet the unique demands of both investors and financial institutions. Call in the real estate asset protection experts today, www.apiaprotects.com, or call 877-752-2742.
While some banks are slow to approve auto loans, RBFCU is hitting the gas. With one of San Antonio's lowest loan rates and fast online approval, you'll have more time and money to live life your way. Apply today at rbfcu.org. Subject to credit approval, rates and terms subject to change. Other restrictions may apply. Better rates. It's what we do at RBFCU.
Hard work, dedication, commitment. Qualities that are found on a winning football team and qualities that you should look for in a contractor. Central Builders has conducted their businesses by these qualities for 25 years. The dedication has resulted in coast-to-coast clients who aim to build, remodel, and restore their large and small businesses. Many school districts and grocery chains, such as HEB, have selected CBI as their first string to implement and improve existing structures as well. Call CBI 210-590-0235.
Hi everyone, I'm Chase Hawley, one of your broadcast hosts tonight, and halfway through the campaign we finally have a weather picture more suited to football rather than a surfing contest. The mercury could dip into the 40s with the new frontal system moving through, but we are high and dry, ready to describe all the 27-6A action tonight. A rough trail ride so far for the Brahmas, as despite their experience from last year, they have just one victory and 4 losses. As Gary mentioned earlier, Austin Lee is returning signal caller, and he is 6 feet, 170 pounds. They depend on running back James Odunze, who can run a 4.6 in the 40. There are 2 seniors and 3 juniors in the offensive line for Mac. Chance Wade is a 6 foot, 290 pound left guard, and right tackle is senior Jacob Johnson at 6 feet, 225 pounds. They also have 3 other down linemen who have experience. Backup quarterback last year, Trey Anderson, has been switched to wide receiver as he has 4.6 speed and is 6'3" and weighs 180 pounds. So there is some talent for this MacArhur team, but they haven't found the glue to hold them together yet, and that might come tonight against the Jaguars. We will be at Hero Stadium tomorrow night as the Reagan Rattlers of Linden Hamilton and the Madison Mavericks of Blaine Peterson tangle again as they battle for a spot in the postseason. We have seen some outstanding football in our first 6 games of the campaign, including the season opener, when we had an opportunity to watch City's second-ranked team, the Brandeis Broncos. They continue to lead District 26-6A, along with O'Connor, and tonight with 2 11s are playing at Ferris Stadium, and they will battle before a sellout crowd. But here at Comalander tonight, this contest should be as exciting as 2 teams with great tradition and history tangle with the playoffs in mind. This is a game of 7 of our 2019 season, so stay tuned as we'll return with the coaches, interviews, and the lineups in a moment. This is Frost High School football.
According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, more than 100 Americans die each day in traffic crashes, and thousands more are injured. If you were injured in a car crash, call Thomas J. Henry. Thomas J. Henry handles serious auto accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. Start your free claim today at tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio.
San Antonio, Texas.
Every family wants the assurance that their most valuable possessions are protected and secure for the future. That's why you need the most insurance coverage that budgets can afford. Even though his company is headquartered in Texas, John Lester is expanding his company from coast to coast. He has recently added several major insurance companies to better serve his growing clientele. You are protected from hurricane, fire, auto accidents, even a polar bear attack. John Lester once played linebacker for the Bastrop Bears, knows the importance of insurance. Call John Lester's Insure 1-210-541-9771.
The most important team member isn't always playing in the game. Sometimes they hold a clipboard on the sideline. A good coach doesn't just call plays. They instill confidence in the individual and help the team overcome adversity. At Frost, we believe that good coaching in your financial life can accomplish the same thing. After all, if we believe in you and you believe in you, anything is possible. Frost. Opt for optimism.
In 1984, high school students were dancing to the song Hey Mickey. That same year, Sherry Armstrong opened Mecca Sportswear to provide those students with quality leather jackets along with all district and all state patches. Well, now, 3 decades later, Sherry and her family are still providing custom leather jackets and award patches to South Texas' greatest student achievers. Call toll-free 844-HEY-MECCA. Hey Mecca! 844-HEY-MECA.
We're about ready to have the toss of the coin at midfield. We'll get the officials in just a couple minutes. It's a very beautiful night for football. And here they are. Paul Lane is the referee. John Reichart is the umpire. Headlinesman is Charlie Harpo, veteran that he is. Mike McWilliams, line judge, back judges Mike Broadbent and James Kramer is the side judge. Field judges Rod Carr. And your clock operators Wes Booth, he's a longtime official, Herb Blakely, and Barry Morris. Thank you very much, Charles. And Charles Vickersby on the sideline. Mark Witherell is here. Mark, we haven't heard from you yet on this very wind-swept night here at Comalander Stadium.
I think I've said this before. Don't get me wrong, I love warm weather, but this is now football weather. You don't want to play in sweat just because you're walking on the sideline. You want to be able to come out, hit somebody, get that sting going, and make sure that you can play in what we always think is cool weather. But more than anything else, if you're on that team tonight, this is the first time your girlfriend probably got to wear your letter jacket up in the stands. So, everything's going to be good tonight.
It is going to be a very football-oriented type weather, but I still don't like cold weather, no matter where it is. The captains tonight, Jaron Randall is one of the captains, Justin Rodriguez, Colton Lee, and Brandon Brown for the Johnson Jaguars. And for the MacArhur Brahmas, you have, let's see, is this right? Yeah, Colby Mask, Jose Fernandez Smick, and is that right? Charles Collins? That didn't look right. Yep. Austin Lee. So they're having the toss of the coin.
Also number 31 in crutches.
And both teams are wearing blue tonight. The MacArhur Brahmas are a home team, so they wear their home blue jerseys, and Johnson wears the white jerseys with the blue numerals and the blue helmets. MacArhur wearing the white helmets with the big M on the side. And the big game across Westbark Parkway, Roosevelt and South San. And that's a game of survival, too, because those teams are both in the playoff picture as well. I believe South Sand's 4-1 for the season. Are we having difficulties with our mics? So, here's the toss of the coin coming. And I would say some brave fans tonight are putting on their heavier attire. Justin Rodriguez says just call the play, or the coin, and here's the flip. It will be, we haven't been given an indication who won the toss yet. MacArthur's won the toss. They have deferred to the second half, so that means that the Jaguars will get the wind. And what is the wind velocity right now? 14 miles an hour from the south. And on crutches with the captains.
Yeah, that's Colton Lee out there, senior DB. He's one of the captains, but he's not playing tonight. He's on crutches.
He's one of their faster kids. We saw, I knew he was hurt, and he's one of the faster players, so he won't be able to participate. And the Brahmas are here to perform at halftime. And let's go ahead and take a timeout because let's go ahead and talk to our first coach. We went down on the field, and the acting head coach tonight is Kevin Hurst, who has been in San Antonio coaching for more than 20 years. Coached at Marshall with Brian Dowson, and he came back to this area after he took an out-of-town job, and we're glad to have him back. Let's go down and talk to Kevin. MacArthur, Kevin Hurst, coach. We're talking about a team that had great expectations, 8 returners on offense, 8 on defense, 70% experienced players. You guys haven't lived up to the expectations you may have had coming into the season.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It was an experienced group. One of the things I think we've dealt with here in the last 2 or 3 weeks is just we get the things rolling and then we shoot ourselves in the foot. I think honestly we're probably 2 or 3, maybe 4 plays away, and our record's totally different at this point. So we're hoping tonight is a night that we can break that out and get things rolling.
Of course, I know they were talking early that MacArthur might be, one of the teams to consider for the postseason.
Yes.
And now that you're at the halfway point, there is no tomorrow, so you've got to get down to nitty-gritty.
Exactly. Yeah, we're excited about this opportunity, and we're expecting good things tonight. And our kids they still hadn't lost hope for the postseason, and they're ready to get this thing rolling. And honestly, I wouldn't expect anything other than that because this has been our best week of practice all year.
Kevin, do you think that the district might be down a little bit from what has been in the past? It seems like the other teams are surpassing them in scores. Who would have thought Smithson Valley would whack Madison 44-0, for instance? Is this district down maybe?
I don't know that our district's down. You think you mentioned Madison. They lost some good players last year, and I wonder if part of their deal wasn't just these other guys kind of catching up and getting some experience. I think it's still a very competitive district right now.
So as you face Johnson tonight, I believe they're 2-0 coming into this game,
yes,
and so that means you have to win tonight.
Yeah, I guess in most people's eyes, we probably have to win. Honestly, with our kids, our big push this week is we have got to do things very deliberate, and we have got to play well. And those things have got to happen in order for us to win. So that's been a big concentration for us this week.
You've got 3 juniors, I believe, in your offensive line. 2 weigh about 240, 250. So it's a pretty good-sized line, but they're not as big as some of the teams you're facing.
Yeah, we're never as big as the teams we face. We're always undersized. But I don't know if anybody's got a bigger heart than these kids.
Well, I always like to say the Mac Pack is back. So we'll see if that happens tonight.
I hope so, because we plan on being back tonight.
Coach Kevin Hurst of the MacArhur Brahmas. You're listening to Frost High School Football. Let's look at the defensive unit for MacArhur since they'll be on defense. And I think I said that the wind's out of the south. It's out of the north at about 15 miles an hour. And it's 58 degrees right now. It's going to get much nippier here at Comalander Stadium. You're down 3 people defensively, and this 3-4 defense will be Michael Gilson, 6'2", 225 senior. Hiram Speed is an appropriate name for football, 6'1", 265 junior. At defensive end right side is Colby Mask, 6'2", 225 senior. Now your backers are Matthew Maroc. He's about 6'1", 185 pounds, and 5'9", 175-pounder Jacob Phipps. And then your weak side linebacker is Nate Castillo, 5'9", 170 senior. Strong side is Cortland Stevens, 6 feet, 175 junior. Your cornerbacks are Davanel Smith, 5'11", 165 junior. And the right cornerback is Darius Fairley, 6 feet, 160 senior. And then your other 3 defensive backs are Dylan Garibaldi, 5'9", 170 senior. Jonah Dunlap, 5'9", 170 sophomore. And Eric Luna, 5'9", 150 senior. So that's your MAC-D, as they will be going to the defense first. They won the toss and will take the kickoff second half. Now we'll have a pause for a word from Frost and other sponsors, and then we'll come back with the coach, Ron Ritterman of the Johnson Jaguars, and their starting lineup.
In 2017, more than 4,700 people were killed in crashes involving large trucks in the U.S. Semi-trucks, which weigh 20 to 30 times as much as passenger cars, can cause severe injuries in the event of a wreck. If you were injured in an 18-wheeler accident, call Thomas J. Henry. Thomas J. Henry handles serious trucking cases and gets serious results for injured clients. Start your free claim today at tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio.
San Antonio, Texas.
Every San Antonio family has a dream to live in their own castle. There's one San Antonio real estate expert who can fulfill that dream, and he has provided many wonderful kingdoms for hundreds of home buyers in South Texas. Chris Collins of RE/MAX Preferred has been the realtor selected by families that want to make that dream a reality. He'll provide the expertise and confidence to purchase the home that's your address for future happiness. Call Chris at RE/MAX Preferred, 210-213-2432.
Ladies and gentlemen, the former All-Star quarterback from Southwest Texas State, where he was the number 1 bachelor in all of San Marcos with the Strutters. I know that. Ron Ritterman, welcome back to our microphones.
Thank you, Gary. That's quite the introduction. I'm not sure any of the Strutters knew who I was back then, but we're glad that y'all are here and looking forward to another great night.
Now, you guys 2-0 coming in this ball game, and we know at the halfway point that almost in this district, you have to win almost every game for the postseason.
You do. You have to bring your best effort every week, and you have to get better every week. And that's really what we're anxious to find out tonight. We played 2 pretty good district games, and then we had an open week. And so you never know how you're going to respond to that. But hopefully we've had a couple of good weeks of practice, playing against another good, strong opponent that we got to be ready for. And if we don't come out and play better tonight, then we've set ourselves back a couple of weeks.
The thing about it is, when I looked at the preseason and I saw MacArhur had 8 players back on each side of the ball, starters, and I said, boy, they're going to be tough, and they've had a pretty tough road to travel.
Well, I agree with you, because I watch a lot of video, and I watch them offensively, and they're very dangerous. They've got a good-sized offensive line. They got a returning starting quarterback. They got a couple of running backs that can outrun everybody, and they got a couple of big play receivers. So, on paper, that all looks very dangerous. They've had some things go on that have slowed them down a little bit, and we're hoping that they don't put it all together tonight. Hopefully they'll wait another week to get that resolved.
Ty Reisner and Justin Rodriguez have been your 2 studs, and boy, they have been impressive on the gridiron in 2019.
They have. Both those young men have played really well the first 5 games, and we expected them to, because they're both very talented. But really, it's bigger than that. their leadership is what's made a difference, because we have a very young offensive line, and they've been patient with those guys and watched them grow and develop for 5 weeks, and they're getting better. And that's really been the key to our success, is those five guys up front. And then we have a couple of big play receivers that have made some really big plays for us.
Yeah, they really have.
It's really been a total team effort, but Ty and Justin have been a big part of it, not just because of how talented they are in their play on the field, but the leadership that they bring.
Well, you've done a great job as always, and the only coach that the Jaguars have had, and you have left quite a name for yourself, young man.
Well, I appreciate that, and that means a lot coming from you, Gary.
Coach Ron Ritterman, and the team wearing blue is going to win tonight, that's for sure.
No doubt. Hopefully it's the right color blue.
You're listening to Frost High School Football. Starting lineup offensively for the Johnson Jaguars. It'll be, Jaron Randall, 6 foot, 160-pound senior, 6'3". The kid has grown 4 inches, and he's also a basketball star for the Brahmas. Will Hunsinger, 6'3", 250 junior. At left tackle, left guard is Kevin Benjamin, 5'11", 196 junior. Center is Evan Melo, 5'11", 255 junior. Marcus Jimenez, 6'2", 225 senior. Eric Bogiano, 6'3", 212, 11. And Kateris Sanders, 6'1", 205 senior tight end right. Ty Reisner will be the field general, 5'8", 160-pound flyer. He can go. He's a junior. He's already responsible for 10 touchdown passes, 867 yards through the air, total of 1,306 yards. The kid is just a phenomenal athlete. Fullback is Elvin Simpson, 6 foot, 185 senior, or Shane Johnson will be in there some. He's 6'1", 180 junior. And then, of course, it's going to be interesting to see what Justin Rodriguez can do tonight. One of the best running backs in all of South Texas, 5'8", 185 senior. Tremendous leg drive. He has carried the ball for 12 touchdowns, 7-yard average, and 687 yards. So that's pretty impressive, my friends. And both teams now on the field, as they've done away with their entry balloons tonight. It's just too windy. And here come the young men and women from the home team MacArhur ROTC color guard, and we all stand and we will have our national anthem at midfield, ladies and gentlemen.
Our men and women in uniform throughout the world with the playing of our national anthem.
Very well done, our Star Spangled Banner by the always impressive MacArhur Marching Band. And I remember years ago, one of the off years for the Brahmas, they had more people staying for halftime to see the band than they did watching the football team. Mark Witherell, it's good to have you with us tonight. I know your heart is over at College Station tonight, but your body is here with us, and we're glad of that.
Well, I appreciate it. I wouldn't be anywhere else if it weren't for the fact that there's high school football going on in San Antonio. And let me tell you, I'm very excited about this game. There's some interesting dynamics going on here. Like you said, the team wearing blue is going to win tonight, but more importantly, I think the team that made the most adjustments and made the best use of their bye week is going to come through here tonight.
at a right guard.
Well, Coach Hurst said they had a great week of practice, said it was the best together, if you can use that term, togetherness week that they've had all season long.
Well, if you're Johnson, just coming in here 2-0 doesn't mean anything. You've got to be able to understand these guys may be playing desperate. They may be coming out with some new wrinkles, and you got to be able to weather a storm and don't let a team that you should take care of hang around in the game and think they've got a chance to win.
And we were watching some of the pregame activity, and Ron Ritterman said, "You see the young man kicking?" I said, "Yeah, he may have to fill in tonight because Reed Keeney, the fine kicker for Johnson, is hurting a little bit. Had a couple of injuries or whatever, and it was Jack Comalander who was kicking in the pregame. So we'll see if he does that tonight. So it'll be reception time, and we are ready to rock and roll with football on this Friday night in South Texas.
We are ready to rock and roll, Gary DeLon. And deep at the 5-yard line are our returners, Randall and number 15. And here's the boot, and it is going to go drop and roll, and it is caught by Randall, and it's going to be kept, and he is up to the 20-yard line. Now he's to the 25. The 30 is coming on the left side, and he finally is brought down around the 40-yard line with the flag on the play.
That old satellite return that Madison used to use so effectively, and of course, Jaron Randall does have some speed. He went back for 30, but there's a flag down as Chase indicated.
Probably is holding, but we will have to see.
If Ty Reasoner goes to the area, he'll have a very strong opponent in that very stiff wind of about, Walter, 18 to 20 miles an hour out of the north. Johnson, Jags in their white traveling uniforms tonight with the blue numerals. Illegal use of hands is the call. And illegal procedure. That's not the way. Kevin Hurst is out there already asking what's going on. So Mac has 2 infractions.
That's definitely not how.
That's called overeager.
Definitely overeager. That's not how you want to start the football game.
MacArhur has so many famous alumni. Of course, it's named after General Douglas MacArthur. Do you know where he graduated from? TMI in 1897.
TMI. Texas Military Institute.
Famous words, "I shall return." And he did.
He did.
To Bataan and Corregidor. So we have a little delay as we have a...
Yeah, they're still trying to figure this out.
And let's go down to Charles. He's down on the wind-swept sideline.
Well, can you guys hear me? Yeah, there you go. Hey, I'm not sure if I can add any more insight as to what the delay is, but I think it might have been a mixed signal. I think there might have been a penalty on Johnson and penalty on MacArthur. Obviously, the announcers or the referees are trying to figure it out themselves. So,
well, we'll get the call right here.
There you go.
Yeah.
Illegal procedure on the kicking team for not being set 5 yards behind the kicking spot. Then we had a back in the back. On the return, penalties were offset. Re-kick.
They're going to re-kick it.
Well, that's going to cost Johnson some good field position.
Sure is.
It's going to
have return. It probably takes away their satellite handoff, too. As Jaron Randall had a great return. Jaron is a fine basketball player, and his dad is assistant coach. And I've known him for the last 20 years since he was at Madison with Coach Streety.
And he's a good man.
Yeah, one of the things we noticed there on the kickoff is MacArthur figuring that with the wind, Jaron Randall and the receivers are going to be way down by the goal line. They put a pop-up up there, tried to throw a little bit of razzle-dazzle in on him on the first kickoff.
Well, it worked to some extent, Mark. In fact, that no one got it, and they had to field it off the bounce. But they did a good job after the fact and got some good blocks. But obviously one of those blocks didn't count.
So let's start all over.
No.
No, they don't.
Nope, no resetting clock. The time takes off.
You can't bring back time.
No, you cannot.
I found that out with my birthday.
You're still young, Gary. You're still young. And you look young, too.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
And so we re-kick.
And here's the boot. And it's going to be a little squib down the middle. It's going to take a high bounce, and it's fielded at the 25-yard line. And he is now trekking into the 35-yard line and finally brought down. Carrying the ball was number 27, and that's Matthew Rodriguez. He's a linebacker, junior, 5'6".
And Trey Anderson was the guy on the tackle. He was kind of the spirit leader before the game. He was the one who was getting everybody into the cheers, and he led them on that defensive charge.
It's just a 5-yard difference after all of that.
So Shane Johnson will go out left with Randall isolated wide right, with Rodriguez on Reasoner's left as Reasoner puts a man in motion. And here's the snap, and he hands it off to Rodriguez, and Rodriguez is fighting for a hole, and he's going to get 2 yards on the play. So that'll make
we
it
got a
second and
tussle
8.
muscle going on. We got a foul, and maybe a double foul here on 72 for Mack and 76 for Johnson. Let's see, that's Evan Malo, 255, and for the Brahmas, number 72.
Yeah, Evan was definitely the aggressor there, Gary. I'd be interested to see how they call this.
That's Peter Sherry.
The player for MacArthur was just backing off and just backing off. I'd be surprised if they called this both ways.
Well, that's not a way that Ron Redmond wanted to start this game. I'm sure he's going to get a little lobe full there.
Yes, he is. And that's going to set him
all the
way back.
Yeah. My goodness. 23-yard line.
So they're going to have to gain momentum on the second
and
down.
They've got to go to the 45 for first down.
That's a lot of yards. Second and 22 as Shane Johnson goes out wide left with the Randall on the right side. As Comalander goes in motion. Back. Here's Reasoner handing off to Rodriguez. Rodriguez has a burst of speed, and he fights back all the yards that they lost on the penalty as he gets back up to the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be a gain of 12 for Justin Rodriguez.
Then that was only a 12-yard penalty?
Well, it was an after the play, and so it was a 3-yard gain and a 15-yard penalty.
Very astute, Charles. That's why you're down there.
Yeah.
So that'll make it 3rd and 10. This will have to be a third down conversion that they really should think about. Here's Shane Johnson going out left with Comalander in motion. As he goes back to the left side now. Here's Reasoner dropping back to pass. He's looking to the right side now. He's rolling out right. He's being pressured. He's still rolling out right. And he's got a man down the sideline. That's Randall. And it is caught. And he is down to the 25-yard line. Oh, they're going to mark it at the 21. 46-yard pass
He was
reception.
running for his proverbial life.
Yeah, but when you've got a mobile quarterback like Ty Reasoner, anything can happen. And on that play, exactly what happened is Randall was able to get behind the corner who kind of looked back into the backfield, and Reasoner found him down the field.
Well, he's got speed.
He does have speed. So it'll be trip set left with Shane Johnson on the wide left. And here's Comalander in motion going towards the right side. Now back to the left. Here's Reasoner handing it off to Rodriguez. Rodriguez going to the left. He does a cut, and it's a fumble. And the ball is loose.
Looks like the Brahmas got it.
Yep.
Wow.
Wow.
That was a slippery pigskin there. And coming up with it in the defensive secondary. And he's a young hero right now. And that was Dylan Garibaldi, the senior. Wow.
I think Justin Rodriguez was just not holding that ball tight enough.
Yeah, he
it's a little
picked up
slippery.
pretty good yardage.
He did pick up really good yardage. So now it'll be Mac's turn to see if
Austin
they
Lee at quarterback.
Do something with the ball. As you said, Austin Lee at quarterback.
James Odunsi is the running back.
Here's Austin Lee taking the snap, and he fake handoff and keeps it, and he bursts through the middle to get a gain of about 9 on the play. So that'll make it 2nd and 1.
We told you he had 4.5, 4.6 speed.
And I think we're going to be seeing that a lot as the QB keeps and the QB sneaks.
Austin went halfway to Houston on that play.
So it's going to be a bunch crunch formation on the right side with a single receiver on the left. Here's the handoff. And the handoff's going to go to James Adunzi. So they're going to get the first down.
Seems to be a little pep in the MacArhur huddle, Charles.
Well, there definitely is. I mean, they came out here with a lot of energy before the game in their on their sideline preparation, just before the national anthem. A lot of energy on these Brahmas, and I think they're going to have to ride some of that to pull out a victory. And as we talked about, play mistake-free football.
So it'll be a 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line, going from my left to right. Here's Austin Lee. As he takes the snap, he's looking to his right. He's got a man, and it is caught. And he's got room, and he's to the 50, down to the 40, down to the 30. He's got space. He's to the 20, the 10, the 5, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown.
Jackson Deason on that reception and run.
4 yards. What a beautiful way to start off the first quarter for the Brahmas.
With a turnover, they score big, and he showed some tremendous speed on the outside. Deason was faster than Jackie Gleason. That's for sure.
And as Coach Hurt said, this team has a lot of passion and a lot of heart.
5'11", 160-pound sophomore.
And here's the boot, and it is going to be up high, far, and no good. It's to the left. With 8 minutes, 31 seconds left on the clock, 6-0 as Mac is in the lead. You're listening to Frost High School Football.
Coming home means a lot of things to a lot of people. It's a place where you can kick off your shoes or even kick it up a notch. As the #1 mortgage lender in Texas for credit unions, you can trust RBFCU when buying your new home. We'll be there for you every step of the way. So whether it's buying your first home or financing your forever home, you can count on us to make your dream come true. To apply online and for complete details, visit rbfcu.org. Some restrictions may apply. Loan subject to credit approval. RBFCU is an equal housing lender.
We are back at Comalander Stadium in the Gary DeLon booth, where MacArhur has taken the lead early with a 3-play, 85-yard drive, only taking 50 seconds off the clock, but a 74-yard pass from Lee to Jackson Deason, and a great run after catch makes the score 6-0 in favor of MacArhur.
Yeah, the fumble that slipped away from Justin Rodriguez set up the score. And my goodness, who would have really thought that Jackson Deason had that kind of outside speed to outrun the very quick defender in that secondary for Johnson?
Well, that may be where, Colton Lee, as a senior who's injured, may have been able to do something on that. Maybe that's taking advantage of the injury.
Here's Alonzo Escobar kicking it. It's a little squib kick going down the middle, and it is received at the 26-yard line. Now he's fighting for room, and returning the ball is the same person as last time, number 27, and that is
Matthew Rodriguez. That's Justin's brother.
So it'll be the Johnson Jags' turn to see if they can retaliate with the score. With 8 minutes, 24 seconds left in the first quarter, Ty Reisner will be taking the wheel.
Yeah, Johnson was driving before Rodriguez put that ball on the turf, so let's see if they can get back on track.
And as we've seen in previous games, when Johnson scores one and they are consistent on plays, as we have a flag on the play.
And they had too many men on the field.
Well, this is not the way Ron Redmond wanted this game to start. He thought his team was mentally prepared, but right now they've had kind of an unconscious lapse.
Gary, I think a little bit of that is you're playing a team that you think you're going to be able to beat, no problem, so you don't really come out as sharp as you should. But unfortunately, if you don't get sharp pretty quick, you could be in for a big surprise.
That's very true.
You got Hiram Speed as nose tackle. He's only 6'3", 265.
So it'll be trip set right as he puts Rodriguez in motion, and Rodriguez going back toward the right side now. Here's Reasoner, tossing off the pass to Rodriguez, and he's going to try to get a gain, and he is going to be knocked out of bounds
at the first down marker.
About a yard
short of the first down. Almost got it. 14 yards on the carry for Justin Rodriguez.
Matthew MacArhur was over there to run him out of bounds.
So now it'll be 2nd and 1.
We may see an explosive ball game tonight. Exciting already.
Shane Johnson going out wide left, Randall on the right side. As Reasoner puts a man in motion. As he takes the snap and he hands it off to Rodriguez, and Rodriguez has the first down and more.
Crashes to midfield. First down of the night.
Pick up a 6 for Rodriguez. The Johnson Jags are just going to have to stay consistent because, as we've seen in previous games, once they get their momentum, they can start really rolling. So it'll be trip set left. And in that group is Shane Johnson,
Mask,
Randall,
Speed, and Gilson,
and Elvin
down
Simpson.
3.
Now Comalander's on the field as he is put in motion. Here's Reasoner as he QB keeps, and he's going to be stopped. Give him a gain of 2 yards. And making that stop was Matthew MacArhur.
Yeah, that outside defensive lineman for MacArthur turned Reasoner back inside. Otherwise, Reasoner with the speed could have got to the corner and made a lot more out of that gain.
So it'll be 2nd and 8 for the Johnson Jags as they are past midfield, almost in the same territory that they were before. Double wide out set left with a single receiver on the right. That's Randall as he puts Comalander in motion. Now Comalander going back. Here's Reasoner, takes a snap. He's dropping back to pass. He's looking to his right, and he's overthrows it. Intended receiver was Randall, but applying great coverage for the Brahmas was number 1, and that was Darius Fairley.
And Randall was open a little early there, but like you said, Chase, Fairley did a good job of coming in there and blanketing Randall on that one and keeping that from being a big play.
Hiram Speed is the big guy in the middle, 268.
So it'll be 3rd and 8 now, going from my right to left with 6 minutes, 52 seconds left in the first quarter. Here's Comalander in motion. Trip set left as Reasoner rolls to his left. Now he's looking for a pass, and he's got a man, and he just throws it right in front of Shane Johnson, but he overthrew it a little bit.
And he was saying, come back, Shane. You just went too far the other way.
He threw it to me.
You love saying, come back, Shane, don't you?
And Mac defense is twisting it up a little bit on that first play where Reasoner missed the receiver. It was only a 3-man rush, but that time they brought the house. Every linebacker was in Reasoner's face trying to get him to take care of that ball.
They're going against that 18-mile-an-hour wind out of the north. You're down to 6:45 in the first period. 6-0, Mac.
So this will be the 2nd unsuccessful drive for the Johnson Jags. And here's the punt. And it is going to go down and fair caught at the 14-yard line. 35-yard punt for the young man.
This is where they last started.
And now they are in the same field position that they last started on the last drive. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Brahmas as Austin Lee takes the wheel now. Wide right will be number 2, who just ran for 74 yards on that last touchdown, and that's Jackson Deason. Here's Austin Lee as he takes the snap and he hands it off to James Odunzi, and he gains there's a flag on the far side as he gained 9 yards on the play, and making the stop was Joseph Hernandez.
It's a sideline warning. He just.
Yeah. We haven't called Brandon Brown's name yet, and he is the real anchor of that Johnson D.
But I think the reason for that is because the big lineman down there, I think number 75 for the Brahmas.
They're in a 6-man front now.
They might be double teaming him. Double wide out set right. Here's Austin Lee as he takes the snap. He hands it off to James, and there's nowhere for him to go. I think we jinxed it, Gary DeLon.
He bounced off like a rubber ball, and he may have lost a yard.
Yeah, but that you called the name beforehand. That's Brandon Brown. He did get double teamed right in the middle of that line, but he stood up 2 offensive linemen and plugged that hole really.
He did.
That play didn't go anywhere because of Brown.
But he got the first down.
That's all they needed. Jinx. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line. Double wide out set left. Charles Collins on the left. Here's the handoff to James Odunze, and he is racked, only gaining about 2 yards on the play. And
Trey Anderson is the wide out replacing Collins over there.
Because he got moved from backup quarterback to receiver.
This does not look like a team that has gone 1-4.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Trip set right with the single receiver being Trey Anderson. Here's Austin Lee throwing.
Yeah, Lee had all day. They did not get any pressure anywhere near him, and he just missed a wide open receiver there.
So it'll now be 3rd and 8.
Looked like he might have had 2 guys in that pattern there, and one of those guys might not have finished his route.
Too bad it wasn't Mr. Holmes, because Dr. Watson just couldn't get free.
4 minutes, 51 seconds left in the first quarter. Double wide out set right. Trey Anderson isolated on the left. Here's Austin Lee, takes the snap. Now he is keeping it, and he's going to run with his speedy arms, and it's a fumble, and it's another fumble. And we'll see at the bottom of that stack who I think the ground did cause it.
Well, they don't
It looked
say that.
as it was.
Let's go down to Charles.
Well, I agree with you guys. I think the ground did cause it, but the referees didn't respond to that. It looks like they let it play out. Unfortunately for the Brahmas, they were able to get back on that ball.
Number 7 recovered.
Number 7, that's James Odunze.
Yep.
That was it was Carrasco who was able to pounce on the loose ball.
So that'll be a pickup of 8 and 1st down for the Brahmas as they start making their way to the opposing side of the field. Trey Anderson isolated. No, double wide out set left. Single receiver on the right. Here's a man in motion. Austin Lee handing it off to James Odunze, and he has nowhere to go, and it looks...
Ball looked like it was going to pop free,
loose.
but he retained possession.
So
there was a face mask in there that got missed, but running up in a crowd, it's kind of hard to see that.
So it'll be 2nd and 9. 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Trip set left, single receiver on the right. Going from my left to right. Here's Austin Lee dropping back to pass, looking to his left now as he has a man and is caught, and he is brought down at the 49-yard line. We're going to mark it at the 50.
That's Watson.
Watson on the catch, and he gets 14 in the first.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 50. 3 minutes, 36 seconds left in the first quarter as they look over to the sideline for the play. Trey Anderson going out wide left as Jackson Deason goes out wide right. Here's Austin Lee taking the snap, hands it off to James Odunze, and he gets about a gain of 2 on the play. So that'll make it 2nd and 8 for the MacArhur Brahmas.
Making a good read on the play was Parker Spanley at left corner at safety on the left side.
So the Brahmas have a chance here to have a scoring drive. As they look over to the sideline for the play, and it looks the play clock is at 10 seconds. They're going to have to get this one off pretty soon. Trey Anderson wide left, and here's a flag.
One of the offensive linemen jumped. That'll back him up 5 yards.
Yeah, that's one of the things you don't want to do when you've got momentum and then you have a penalty. Jacob Johnson, the right tackle on the offensive line, moved.
So now that'll make it 2nd and 13 for the Brahmas. As the clock keeps ticking, 2 minutes, 34 seconds left in the first quarter.
6-0 score. Missed extra point.
So it'll be a double wide out set left with Trey Anderson on the wide left. Jackson Deason isolated on the right. Here's Austin Lee taking the snap, looking to his right. Now he's looking to a receiver, and he is caught, and it's a first down and more as he is drug out of bounds.
Well, there's a stupid play by another defensive back that is just uncalled for.
Yeah, Juan Carrasco caught that over the middle and was on the way to the sideline. Brought down, and then a little bit too much extra after the whistle.
It's just a silly mistake. You got to keep your poise in a ball game if you're trailing.
So that's going to hurt them as the MacArhur Brahmas.
Charles, it looked like, it seems to me that maybe John's a little bit frustrated right now defensively.
Well, absolutely, Gary. I would agree, and I think they're being exposed a little bit. That's the same player that scored the touchdown. So some quickness on behalf of the Brahmas is causing some definite frustration for the Jaguars.
And it looked as if he was trying to strip the ball, but he just did it too excessively. So it'll be Trey Anderson and Jackson Deason going out left. Here's Austin Lee as he takes the snap, hands it off to James, and he plows into that defender. And I think that was number 22 on defense.
Well, also Justin Rodriguez, who's now playing D, was part of the tackle there too, as they need his help in that secondary apparently.
Because of the speed. 11th play on this drive for the Brahmas. They've held the ball possession for 5 minutes with 1 minute, 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Here's Trey Anderson going out left with Jackson Deason on the right. Austin Lee takes the snap. He's dropping back to pass, looking to his left, and he's got a man in the end zone, and it is almost caught. It was in his hands, and the intended receiver was Juan Carrasco, but he just couldn't hang on to it.
Yeah, Carrasco was right there in the end zone, came free right when Lee let the ball go, and very timed well, but just couldn't bring it in, hit him in the hands.
I'll tell you what, the blitz was almost on for Lee, but he read it better than a speed reader and advanced calculus on that play.
Oh, good analogy. Double wide out set right. Trey Anderson isolated on the left. Here's Austin Lee taking the snap, rolling to his right now. And he's got a man, and that's intercepted by Shane Johnson. What a beautiful play. So not only do they have Rodriguez in the secondary, they have Shane Johnson too.
And he made it pay off, didn't he? He brought it to his bosom and went out of bounds on the 2-yard line. My goodness, all that time wasted. But here's your junior receiver playing Big D, and what a great theft that was in the end zone. That was saving a touchdown.
Yeah, Johnson caught that in the end zone, brought it out to the 2 after he pulled it in, but long way to go here for the Johnson offense. They need to get on track, though.
And they're going to be starting in their end zone as Ty Reasoner puts a man in motion. That's Rodriguez. And here's the handoff and running the ball, and
no place to go. Man, they shut the door. And that was Simpson. And that's Elva's first carry.
Yeah, good pursuit there by the Brahmas. That was number 3, Cortland Stevens, helping out there, linebacker.
As the clock ticks, 45 seconds left in the first quarter, as Randall and Shane Johnson go out right. Oh, it's going to be a trips set right as he puts a man in motion. That's number 4 now in, and here's Rodriguez taking the handoff, and he gains about 3 yards on the play.
So it's still inside the 10-yard line, and boy, they've got a long way to go in a short time to get there.
Same 2 guys on the tackle on that one, Cortland Stevens and Devin L. Smith.
And they're not going to get this play underway. It's going to be the end of the first quarter. And this has been a stunner. It's been all Mac pack in this first period.
And that'll be the end of the quarter. So we're going to take a quick timeout here. You're listening to Frost High School Football.
You don't have to be a frequent flyer to know the best rent car location in San Antonio. Budget Rent Car is a locally owned company that provides a fleet of new automobiles and a staff of professionals who have served the thousands of travelers who want quick access to the airport, reasonable prices, and available quality vehicles. That's one name that stands out in the San Antonio rental business. Budget Car and Truck Rental on Sandow Road, just east of 281 North. Phone 210-824-0737. Budget Car San Antonio.
Back at Comalander Stadium, where the MacArhur Brahmas lead the Johnson Jaguars 6-0. Some first half stats: MacArhur 5 first downs to Johnson's 2. Rushing yards 39 for MacArhur, 32 for Johnson. Passing yards 108 for a total of 147 for the Brahmas. 58 yards through the air for the Johnson Jags for a total of 90 yards. 1 turnover either way. And a couple penalties are hurting the Johnson Jags.
They need John Chisholm to help on this trail ride because, boy, the Brahmas have really stopped them.
So the Johnson Jags will be at the 8-yard line, going from my left to right, double wide out set right with a single receiver on the left.
3rd and 6.
They're going to have to make this 3rd down conversion. Here's Shane Johnson in motion as he hands it off to Justin Rodriguez. He's got space, and he's going to turn on the boosters and make a little juke, and he's still on his feet, and he is up to the 21-yard line, gaining the 1st down and a little bit more.
17 yards on Tote.
So,
yeah, give it to the 10th leading rusher in the city is not a bad plan for your 3rd down. And Rodriguez went outside this time, was able to turn the corner, make the chains move after he was able to get all the way past the 20, out of the shadow of their own end zone.
I have a feeling that Coach Ritteman is going to try to get this offense on track. Ty Reasoner in command. Trip set left. Justin Rodriguez on Reasoner's left. Here's a man in motion. And Ty Reasoner's going to roll to his right, and he's going to keep, and he's going to turn on the boosters. He's going to get the 1st down, and he is finally brought down.
Over a defensive back on the right side.
He had space to go for 6. So it'll be 1st and 10.
Cortland Stevens comes out for the Brahmas. Looked like he was checking up a little bit on that last play.
Ball on 37.
And they're going with the wind now, out of the north.
So it'll be double wide out set right, single receiver on the left. Here's Reasoner putting a man in motion. That's Simpson. As he goes back to the right side, here's the handoff to Rodriguez. Rodriguez looking for a hole, and he plows into the defender for a gain of 4, and then the ball will be at the 41-yard line now.
Give credit for that gain to the big guy on the right side, and that was Mario Jimenez. 6'2", 225. He made the block.
So it'll be 2nd and 6 with 10 minutes, 20 seconds left in the second quarter. As Randall goes out wide left, Simpson and Johnson on the right. A double wide out. Here's Reasoner as he puts Simpson in motion. Now Simpson going back. And here's Reasoner as he QB keeps, and he's going to look for a hole, and he bounces through. And it looks like he's going to have the 1st down.
And he had a good sprint off the snap, and Matthew Maroc is the guy that brought him down. And for a 1st down.
Yeah, that was a keeper all the way as the blocking set up. Reasoner was able to turn the corner as well. Put it just in front of the mark to gain for the 1st down, move the chains.
And it looks like 5 first downs for both teams, as there's a timeout on the MacArhur Brahmas side with 9 minutes, 29 seconds left in the second quarter.
Well, In history, if you go back a few years, in 1927 on this date, October 11th, J.C. Penney opened a store in Milford, Delaware, becoming the first American company with stores in all 48 states. J.C. Penney is one of the real stalwarts of the merchandising business for the first century of its existence.
Really?
J.C. Penney's.
Do you shop at J.C. Penney?
I went to the nickel store.
You went to the nickel store? What is that? Never heard of that, Gary DeLon.
That was Woolworths and Kresge's and Cress's.
Yep.
It was a different era.
Sounds like it, because I did not understand a word that you just said.
MacArhur High School, famous alumni. 1950 it opened. John Gibbons, the former Major League manager. Jerry Grody, the great catcher for the New York Mets. Bruce McGill, what a tremendous actor he is in Hollywood.
So the Johnson Jags are back on the field. Shane Johnson out left with Randall isolated on the right. Here's Shane in motion. Reisner takes a snap, hands it off to Rodriguez. Rodriguez going towards the left. He's got a little bit of space, and he makes a move. He's got the first down, and he's finally going to be drug out of bounds at the 35-yard line, but there's a penalty on the play.
Another infraction.
Couple flags.
18-yard run on the play.
Block. Some sort of chop block, I believe, Walter.
The Johnson Jags are just making mistakes that they should not be making, and it's going to hurt them in the end.
And Dexter Wakefield made the stop.
That's going to be a spot foul, guys, so it'll still remain first down.
I'm sorry, it wasn't. It was Kobe Mask on the stop.
Yeah, that's 4 penalties for 50 yards for Johnson so far this evening. Not a clean game by the Jags at all.
Well, you talked about a sparse crowd earlier in the contest, but late arriving Johnson crowd on the far side now, and they have a pretty good representation. Mac didn't bring too many, but they're 1-4, and that's one reason. They may be getting bigger crowds after tonight, the way they've played in this first half.
Here's Comalander in motion as he goes to the left now. Rodriguez.
Oh, my goodness.
Plows through the middle with that speed, and he picks up about 7 or 8 yards on the carry.
And the reason he got it was because Evan Malo, 5'11", 255, junior, the center, was plowing the turf, getting him open.
So it'll be 2nd and 5 for the Johnson Jags as the ball is on the 48-yard line.
When you're up this high, you can see the play develop in these big linemen who make great blocks.
And that's why Rodriguez is so successful, as Riddiman talked about. Here's Simpson in motion, going back towards the right side. Here's the handoff to Justin Rodriguez as he looks for a hole. He bounces over one person, but then is cracked by that defensive player.
Oh, man, Nathan Castillo just sternumized him.
Rodriguez only got a gain of 2 on that carry, so that'll make it 3rd and 3. 1 of 3 for third down conversions for the Johnson Jags.
I shouldn't have used that term. That's sternum. It means, your chest area.
Huh? 7 minutes, 54 seconds left in the second quarter. I don't understand what Gary DeLon is saying, but that's okay. Trip set left. Here's Reisner as he puts Simpson in motion. And Reisner takes a handoff, and he's going to his left. He's rolling, and he's going to keep, and he's going to be brought down as
almost
he gets
does
hit in
a
the back.
baby crawl, doesn't he? I believe he got enough.
I think he did get enough, Gary.
And brought down in the secondary. He almost crawled for the first down, and again it was
Matthew Maroc.
Yep. They gave him the nose of the ball past the line to gain, so they're moving the chains, and Johnson's able to keep more time off the clock and keep the ball going down the field.
7 minutes, 13 seconds left in the second quarter. 1st and 10. They've had the ball in possession for 6 minutes now. Here's Reisner as he QB keeps, and he's going to go straight up the middle with out getting touched by one hand and is finally brought down. Gain of 14 for Reasoner as he gets the first down and more.
And the guy that made that play work, again, was that big lineman who was leading the way. Malo was one of them.
So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line, going from my left to right. So it'll be trip set right with Randall out wide right.
6-0, still the score.
Reasoner putting Simpson in motion as he goes over to the left side. Here's Reasoner, hands it off to Rodriguez, and Rodriguez scoots to the left for a gain of 4 yards on the carry as the clock keeps ticking. Fast-moving quarters in this first half of the game, Gary DeLon.
Yeah, it is, and I've been so impressed with a team that's 1-4. MacArthur leading at 6-0. This doesn't look like a team that's lost that many ball games in the first half of the season.
And it's also surprising how the Johnson Jags are making this many mistakes. As Reasoner puts a man in motion, going over toward the left now. Hands it off to Rodriguez, and Rodriguez jukes by one player and gains 4 more yards on the carry. He could have been brought down and only gained 1, but somehow he just scooted his little squatty body through. And Matthew Maroc is on the defensive play once again. His name has gotten called a lot tonight.
And they've had the ball now for, 9 minutes?
9 minutes.
The entire second quarter, MacArthur hadn't touched the ball yet.
As the Johnson Jags are, I guess, taking their time. Here's Randall on the wide right with Shane Johnson on the left. Simpson in motion going over to the left side. Here's Reasoner handing it off to Rodriguez. Rodriguez has room in as he gets the first down and more and trucks through the defensive player. Gain of 8 for Rodriguez.
Yeah, he's wearing out that MacD, but the Brahmas are putting up a really tough defense. As
Jonah Dunlap makes the stop. So the ball will be
This is the 15th play coming up in this drive.
Randall wide right. Here's Simpson in motion once again. Here's Reasoner handing it off to Rodriguez as he makes the little moves. And he gains another 3 yards on the carry. So that'll make it 2nd and 7.
Yeah, not only have they had this ball the entire second quarter, but they started this drive after that interception on their own 2-yard line. So that defense has got to be a little bit gassed here.
Garibaldi comes out. He made that last stop.
With 4 minutes, 7 seconds left in the second quarter. The ball on the 10-yard line, 2nd and 7. Double wide out set right with Simpson going over to the left. Here's Reasoner handing off to Rodriguez, and
he doesn't get much.
He's going to get nothing.
NG, almost no gain, you'd have to say. As a herd of Brahmas make the stop.
MacArthur is definitely doing a great job of applying
Hiram Speed was there. Castillo was there.
Defensive pressure on their side of the ball.
This kid Speed's a great nose tackle.
So Shane Johnson will go out left with Randall going out wide right. Simpson goes in motion. Returning to his side. Here's Reasoner going towards his left, keeping the ball, and he's got room, and he's got the first down, and
out of bounds at the 1.
I thought he reached over and got the touchdown for a second, but that'll be a pickup of 9 for Reasoner.
Boy.
Yeah, Chase, you're right. He was really close, but as he's reaching out over the goal line, he's stepping out of bounds. So, looks like
he tried to waltz to the outside, but he decided he couldn't dance with the stars, so he settled on Sean Spicer.
Might have been a good time to call a timeout prior to that play for the Brahmas, just to give him a break.
Indeed, Charles, indeed. Here's Randall on the right side. Simpson in motion. As whistles are blown, and
again, the Jags make a mental error. So that puts it back to the 6.
And I think that's going to be one of the topics that they talk about in the halftime talk in the locker room.
Yep.
Coach Ritteman seems very frustrated over on the far sideline. So the ball is going to have to go 6 yards now instead of 1. As Randall goes out wide right with Simpson in the inner right. Shane Johnson on the left. Here's Simpson in motion. Going across to the left side. And here's Reisner taking the handoff as Justin Rodriguez, and he plows through. Back
to that line of scrimmage before the penalty.
So now it'll be 2nd and 2. Almost the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the Johnson offense definitely taking the air out of the ball here. They've had this ball for over 10 minutes.
Yeah, and give Troynell Henderson credit for that last stop because he saved maybe a touchdown.
Trip set right with Simpson going in motion once again. Now going back to original side. Here's the handoff to Rodriguez, and he is into the end zone for the touchdown. 2-yard carry, making it 6-6 with 2 minutes, 21 seconds left in the second quarter.
Impressive drive on this particular thrust.
As we await the PAT attempt.
You got to give those down linemen. They did a great job on this drive. Huntsinger, Benjamin, Malo, Jimenez, Bugiano.
So here's the snap and the boot, and it is up high, far, and good. 2 minutes, 21 seconds left in the second quarter. 7-6, Johnson's in the lead.
The most important team member isn't always playing in the game. Sometimes they hold a clipboard on the sideline. A good coach doesn't just call plays. They instill confidence in the individual and help the team overcome adversity. At Frost, we believe that good coaching in your financial life can accomplish the same thing. After all, if we believe in you and you believe in you, anything is possible. Frost. Opt for optimism.
Back at Comalander Stadium, where the Johnson Jags have just exerted their strength on offense against the MacArhur defense, going 19 plays, 97 yards, taking 10:51 off the clock, culminating with a 2-yard touchdown run by who else? Justin Rodriguez. Point after is good. That brings our score to Johnson 7 and MacArhur 6.
Charles, that was just a wear-em-down type drive.
Yeah, I think if you could pinpoint a drive that you really like all season long, if you're a coach, that would be the drive to point to. I don't think they threw the ball a single time.
So it'll be the Johnson Jaguars to kick the ball off. And Alonzo Fajardo is Fajardo. And the ball is going to go down to the 5-yard line, and it is caught. And he is up to the 15, to the 20 as he dives into the 4 defenders that were there. And the ball is going to be placed at the 22-yard line.
Returning it for the Brahmas on that kickoff was Joshua Watson. Picked up about 21 yards on the carry.
Another good point on that long drive by the Johnson Jaguars is, as I believe they converted third downs just over and over and over again.
Yep.
And that's one of the disciplines that the Johnson Jags have had in that long possession.
It was wearing down that
it definitely
brilliantly played defense by the MacArhur Brahmas. They finally were getting to them at the end.
So it'll be Austin Lee at the steering wheel as he fake handoff and keeps with nowhere to go, and there will be no gain on that carry.
And that's because you had 2 guys waiting for him. Dexter Wakefield was the first guy to get in there, and looked like Parker or Spanley as well.
Wouldn't be surprised if Johnson calls a timeout, depending on
I think you're right.
how MacArhur does on this play.
So it'll be trip set left with Trey Anderson on that wide left. Here's the handoff to James Odunze, and he is clocked, and it is a fumble, and it is picked up by Johnson. He's on his feet still, and he is brought down at the 23-yard line with the flag on the play.
Yep, and making the recovery was Dexter Wakefield.
Yeah, that was a big hit.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there weren't 2 players hurt on that play. Then the penalty comes, and the offensive lineman, number 65, was just blindsided there towards the end of the play. So there's going to be a late, unsportsmanlike penalty on Johnson once again.
They've been making a lot of unnecessary penalties.
So you want to celebrate a good turnover, an opportunistic play there by Johnson, but another bonehead play by one of the Johnson Jaguars.
And that's very unlike the Jaguars.
Yeah, that's their third 15-yard penalty of the game.
They are a very smart playing team, and when you do stupid things, you get stupid results.
Yes, you do. And you can add it to the list of locker room chats. With a minute 30 seconds left in the second quarter. The chains are mixed up as they are confused.
Well, that fits right in with this. A politician is a fellow who will lay down your life for his or her country. Great quote.
Great quote.
So we have 1:30 left to go, and it's very exciting first half, even though it's 7-6.
Just because it's 7-6 doesn't mean it isn't exciting, Gary DeLon.
You're right.
We've had lots of excitement. All kinds of things. Trip set left with Simpson in motion. Oh, actually, that's not Simpson. And here's the snap, and Ty Reisner looking to his left. He's got a man, and that is the man that was in motion. It is caught with a great outreaching catch, and that was the man in motion, and that's Jordan Blass.
And did he have some class on that play?
He did.
He had some glue on his hands because that was on the tip of his fingers, and he brought that in.
A diving grab. That may be his first reception of the season.
Full extension on that, inside the 5-yard line, 1st and goal.
Charles, that was sensational.
Well, kind of lulled him to sleep with that 98-yard drive, and then they come out passing. Big play for Johnson.
Boy, was it ever.
Here's Simpson in motion. Reisner takes the snap, and QB keeps it. He's going to prance into the end zone.
Into the end zone, man. That's like strolling down the river on that play.
Strolling down the San Antonio River, Gary DeLon.
I could waltz across
Texas with you. Ernest Tubb.
This may not be the best broadcast in town, friends, but it's one of the most entertaining. I'll have to say that.
Here's the PAT attempt, and it is up high, far, and good. 14-6. Johnson Jags in the lead.
I think I'll just go on home and leave the kid here.
14-6.
Oh, my.
Did I say 14-6?
Yeah.
Or did I say 13?
No, you said 14.
Oh, 14-6. A minute left in the second quarter. You'll listen to Frost High School football.
In 1984, high school students were dancing to the song Hey Mickey. That same year, Sherry Armstrong opened Mecca Sportswear to provide those students with quality leather jackets along with all district and all state patches. Well, now, 3 decades later, Sherry and her family are still providing custom leather jackets and award patches to South Texas' greatest student achievers. Call toll-free 844-HEY Mecca. Hey Mecca, 844-HEY-MECA.
Back at Comalander Stadium, where after a slow start, the Johnson Jags have taken a 14-6 lead in this district matchup, going 3 plays, 38 yards, 1:16 off the clock, culminating with a 4-yard touchdown run by Ty Reisner. No, another set of points off turnovers after that fumble recovery by the Johnson defense.
It culminated it all right.
All the points tonight have been scored off turnovers.
So, once again, the Johnson Jags will be kicking the ball off to the Brahmas. Fajardo.
2 unanswered scores.
With the boot. And it's going to go deep to the 5-yard line. And it is caught, and he is up to the 25, to the 30, and he's being dragged down at the 30-yard line. 25-yard line. 25-yard carry.
And it was Joshua Watson again.
He's got a little speed on the.
They've got some speed on the MacArthur team. That's why I am just amazed that they're 1-4, because they look like a much better team than that record indicates.
Well, go back to when they were up by 6 and then driving down and threw an interception into the end zone. That first turnover.
That was the killer right there.
That could have been a 2-score game in the lead, and now it's you're down by a score.
Yeah, you're right.
That's almost like the momentum changed. 51 seconds left in the second quarter. Here's the snap by Austin Lee, and he's going to keep and pound through the defense.
Gets 6 yards, though. And give credit to the guy that was leading the way out there in front, because without him, he wouldn't have been able to gain anything. And that looked like Thomas Phillips. And that may be the last play of the half. Also blocking was Jose Fernandez-Smeek.
2nd and 4 as the clock ticks to 15 seconds. Double wide out set left.
Probably go deep on this play.
Here's Austin Lee. Takes a snap as he
keeps,
and he goes towards his left, and he's to the 40, and he's just going to dive and slide. And that's the end of the second quarter.
Good run by Austin Lee, who shows some good outside speed. And now they will go to the dressing room and talk about these mistakes. But still been an exciting first half. 14-6, everybody. And we say happy birthday to longtime quarterback Steve Young, born on this date in 1961. And we'll say we'll be back in just a moment or so. You're listening to Frost High School Football.
The most important team member isn't always playing in the game. Sometimes they hold a clipboard on the sideline. A good coach doesn't just call plays. They instill confidence in the individual and help the team overcome adversity. At Frost, we believe that good coaching in your financial life can accomplish the same thing. After all, if we believe in you and you believe in you, anything is possible. Frost. Opt for optimism.
Dr. Eric Kuhl played high school football, and he knows the importance of keeping your body in good condition to maintain perfect health. He also realizes that a portion of that health is maintaining dental hygiene. In today's society, your teeth are as important as eyes and ears. Gum disease can lead to other physical problems, and Dr. Eric Kuhl can advise, counsel, and demonstrate the best methods of dental maintenance. The office accepts most dental insurance policies, and you'll find a new friend, compassionate doctor as well. Call Dr. Eric Kuhl for an appointment at 210-496-1711 on 281. And don't forget, it's cool to have a great smile.
Some people know me by Smitty. Most people call me Mr. Smith. One day I went to Randolph Brooks Federal Credit Union. Ever since that day, I developed a relationship with Randolph Brooks Federal Credit Union that was second to none. I like RBFCU because they create a stress-free environment. It's all about relationships.
Better banking. It's what we do at RBFCU. Join today at rbfcu.org. Membership eligibility required. Written terms subject to change.
Play the real estate investment game smarter by putting APIA on your team. They are the secret weapon for investors who own 5 or more rental properties. Their custom-built insurance policy allows investors to place their entire real estate portfolio under one policy with one renewal date. Real estate investors win by saving time and improving their cash flow. Call in the experts today. www.apiaprotects.com or call 877-752-2742.
Back at Comalander Stadium, where the Johnson Jags are leading the MacArhur Brahmas 14-6 at halftime. A scoring summary started off with MacArhur taking the ball in 3 plays, 85 yards. A big part of that was the 74-yard touchdown pass from Austin Lee to Jackson Deason. That brought up a 50 seconds off the clock and made it a 6-0 score. They were driving again and then threw an interception into the end zone. First turnover of the night for MacArhur. Johnson gets it at their own 3-yard line and goes 97 yards in 19 plays. Takes 10 minutes and 51 seconds of the second quarter off the clock. 2-yard run by Justin Rodriguez made the score 7-6 Johnson. And then quickly after that, the defense for MacArhur had to get right back on the field because a fumble by MacArthur running back picked up by the Johnson defense. That meant that defense had to come right back on the field again after only 3 plays and 38 yards. They were in the end zone again as 4-yard touchdown run by Ty Reasoner made the score 14-6. So we'll go through some halftime stats. Walter, just a weird game so far.
Yeah, it's a tale of 2 quarters on the stats because of that long drive. Mac had no first downs in the second quarter because they didn't have the ball long enough. First downs 5 for Mac, 10 for Johnson. Johnson had 8 first downs in that second quarter because of that long drive. Rushing 49 yards for Mac, 108 for passing for 147. 140 for rushing and 93 yards for passing for a total of 233 for Johnson. Third downs are 0 of 1 for Mac, 2 of 5 for Johnson. The only thing that's holding Johnson back a little bit, they've had 6 penalties for 70 yards, including 3 15-yard penalties, and Mac's just had an illegal procedure, 1 penalty for 5 yards.
Yeah,
and it's 14-6.
Yeah, unofficially, I'm looking at a time of possession for Johnson of 16 minutes and 56 seconds, which doesn't leave much time in a 24-minute half.
You're right.
For the other team to come back. And, MacArthur started out, as we were talking about, they didn't have anything to lose. They were coming out. Everybody said Johnson's 2-0 in the district. And if it weren't for that, punch in the teeth that they took, I don't think Johnson would have woke up. And they were down 6-0. If it weren't for that turnover, they could have been down 2 scores, and we would have been talking about something totally different.
And Mac won the toss, and they deferred, so they're going to get the ball to start the third quarter and see if they can get that offense cranked up because they had no first downs in the second quarter.
Yeah, and let's get back to those penalties on top of everything else. Last week, both of these teams were in a bye week, and you figured you'd come back out and you'd be a little rusty, but those penalties aren't rust. That's just some extracurricular activity after the
unsportsmanlike conduct, and that's uncalled for.
Yeah.
Ron Ritterman will probably address that in the locker room right now.
So it is halftime here at Comalander Stadium with the halftime festivities. Looks like the MacArthur Brahmas are going to have a homecoming celebration this evening, but we're going to go to commercial. We'll come back with some second half predictions as well as some scores from around the area. This is Frost High School football.
In 2017 alone, 2.8 million U.S. workers were injured on the job. Construction, transportation, manufacturing, oil and gas, and agriculture were among the most dangerous industries for workplace accidents. If you were injured in a workplace accident, call Thomas J. Henry. Thomas J. Henry handles serious workplace accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. Start your free claim today at tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio.
San Antonio, Texas.
Whenever a young driver leaves for school, a game, or drives to the mall, parents want a peace of mind knowing where their youngster is located any time of day or night and when they'll be returning home. GPS of Texas provides that parental peace of mind with the high-tech tracking technology provided by Blake Stevens Company that can trace a vehicle from coast to coast and even to Alaska and Hawaii. A feeling of security and safety when GPS of Texas installs that device. Call Blake at 210-587-7634.
Hi, everybody. I'm Gary DeLon back at Comalander Stadium one more time, and it's a 14-6 game at halftime. It's been an exciting game, even though we've had a lot of miscues and a lot of fumbles and interceptions and penalties, but it's still been a heck of a game to watch. MacArthur 1-4, a lot better team than that record indicates as far as I'm concerned, and of course Johnson is 2-0 in district play and one of the favorites right at this point to go into the postseason. We're very pleased to welcome, for the first time, I think, that he's been on our broadcast with us, although he's been on many, many broadcast times when we've done a game. John Young, who just recently retired 2 years ago, I think, as a trainer in the Northeast Independent School District for some 42 years.
Yep.
And what schools were you training for in your career for the Northeast?
Only one I was at was MacArthur High School.
All those years?
All those years. MacArthur was about 28 years out of that 42 overall, but I did some other schools in San Antonio, Clark, and South San High School also.
Well, the reason we asked him to be with us tonight because, trainers are a lot like officials. They're there every game. They're very important to the game, but they don't get any credit. And they keep the players in condition. They keep the players on the field. They take care of their injuries. They soothe the parents when they think their child has been severely hurt. John Young, longtime friend, and also a member of the same worship center I attend. And recently, you were given the Southwest Athletic Trainers Association Most Distinguished Award.
Right, correct.
And I have seen the letter from Athletic Director Karen Funk, and she praised your service for the district, and of course, such an important, integral part of any football team, as Dr. Jack Henry will tell you from the days he was with the Spurs. And one of the great friends that I had over the years was Bernie LaRue, and I'm sure you knew Bernie.
I knew Bernie.
And you also have been inducted into several different organizations, and it's such a career of note. Inducted to the Alamo Area Hall of Fame for trainers, and then a member of SWATA and NATA, that's a training organization. 44 years, even through his college years, you were a trainer. Yeah. Is that all you ever wanted to do?
I did. When I was at McAllen High School, we had the only athletic trainer in the Valley at that time, and he's the one that got me interested in it, and I decided to make it a career because I love sports so much. And like you said, we're the ones that keep the team going and stuff, and we work from August through May. I mean, we don't get an off season.
And football fans, the true football fans in Texas will recognize the name Paul Langhofer, right? Mm-hmm. Who was the coach for many, many years and athletic director at Harlingen High School, which is where you attended, isn't that right?
No, I went to McAllen High School.
You went to McAllen?
No, yep.
Well, that's down the hallway.
Down the hallway, yep.
And of course.
And I want to say also that the reason for the ceremony tonight, because this summer I was inducted into the Texas Athletic Trainers Association Hall of Honor.
That is an honor for you.
Yeah, it was.
And there are very few guys around who have all these honors. What is it, Joe Rust? Is that one of the other famous trainers locally?
P.D. Ross.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And such an integral part of any football team. And how many times do you have to tape ankles? I mean, is that how many hundreds of thousands of ankles?
Hundreds and thousands of times.
Yeah. And of course, you have the same type of schedule that coaches do. You're there most of the time when you're a trainer.
Most of the time. Mm-hmm.
So that means your family life takes a hit.
It does. It does. My two daughters didn't know they had a dad during football season. After football season, I got to see him a little bit more. But like I said, when football season's over with, basketball season takes place, soccer season, baseball season, softball season, track and field. We've got to be there for everything.
All right, how has the game changed from when you started almost 5 decades ago?
Oh, it's changed a lot, especially the equipment that the players use. Helmets, I've seen a big change in the football helmets over the years. I mean, you remember those suspension helmets that the players had.
Well, I didn't have a face mask.
You probably well, we had face masks when I'm not as old as you are,
when
Gary.
Jim Thorpe and I played together. When we were at Haskell Institute. By the way, I did play football at Haskell Institute because that's where Lawrence High played their home games, where Jim Thorpe once trekked the terrain of Haskell Institute.
But the equipment has definitely improved over the years. When I still attend national trainers conventions, I always go see the expo to see all the new equipment that's come out. That, when I first started working, we hardly had any fancy equipment.
That's true. And now it is so expensive, too, that the budgets have to be considered when a major football power. I mean, look at Northeast. The budget itself is staggering.
It is.
And how many trainers does each school have in the Northeast?
Each school has 2 trainers. That started back in 1998. That we started to have 2 trainers at each school.
How many times have you had to treat the real critical injury that concerns you?
Several times. Luckily, I never did have to treat a serious football injury. Carry someone off where they had to be incapacitated and stuff.
The case of Gridiron Heroes and that's such a wonderful organization for kids who've suffered spinal cord injuries playing football.
I luckily didn't have any of those, but I did see my share of broken bones and stuff throughout my career.
I think one of the saddest moments I had in recent years of broadcasting football was the day that David Edwards was injured at Austin Westlake when Madison High School was playing. And, of course, David later passed away, but what a great young man, inspiration to all who knew him.
Yes.
Suffered a tremendous injury, and I went to Houston 3 times to visit him with Coach Streety back in those days. And we want to thank you, and as a representative of all those who train and take care of the kids, because the parents entrust you as much as they do the coaches to take care of their youngsters. Right. And we also have to mention the young women who play sports too, because according to a stat that I just heard, and I was staggered, more brain concussions per percentile are caused by girls playing soccer.
Yes, that is true.
Which is a stunner. Nobody would think that. So I want to thank you, John. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Again, give us the name of the award.
The one this summer?
Yes.
It's the Texas State Athletic Trainers Association Hall of Honor Award.
That is wonderful. And where is that located?
Well, right now they don't have a permanent location for it. They're looking to fix one up. The Southwest Athletic Training Association is putting their Hall of Honor in at the one in Waco, but I think Texas State is looking maybe to go along with that also.
Would you be called an adhesiologist for so much tape?
I might. I used a lot of it.
Yeah, you did. John Young, great trainer in San Antonio, Northeast Independent School District, who's now retired, but does a lot of other activities which keep him busy. And at halftime, 14-6, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. You're listening to Frost High School Football.
The most important team member isn't always playing in the game. Sometimes they hold a clipboard on the sideline. A good coach doesn't just call plays. They instill confidence in the individual and help the team overcome adversity. At Frost, we believe that good coaching in your financial life can accomplish the same thing. After all, if we believe in you and you believe in you, anything is possible. Frost. Opt for optimism.
In 2003, while playing in a football game for San Marcos Academy, Chris Canales, already offered a college scholarship, was involved in a tackle that transformed his life forever. He suffered a spinal cord injury and was left physically paralyzed, but Chris didn't allow the debilitating injury to affect his involvement with football. Since that time, Chris and Eddie have formed Gridiron Heroes, and now they have the support of many of the college coaches around the country, an organization helping players and families recover from catastrophic injuries. Gridiron Heroes. You can contact them at www.gridironheroes.org or call 210-849-9250.
Coming home means a lot of things to a lot of people. It's a place where you can kick off your shoes or even kick it up a notch. As the #1 mortgage lender in Texas for credit unions, you can trust RBFCU when buying your new home. We'll be there for you every step of the way. So whether it's buying your first home or financing your forever home, you can count on us to make your dream come true. To apply online and for complete details, visit rbfcu.org. Some restrictions may apply. Loan subject to credit approval. RBFCU is an equal housing lender.
In 1974, it began as a small printing company with 3 employees and a hope for the future. Today, Eagle Print has soared into the business community with 30 employees and the most efficient high-tech and graphic equipment in San Antonio. Maybe you need to print up a business plan for your next venture, or you might need a new marketing brochure for a top client. Ray's been involved with planning and designing such things for many, many years. His business cards are true marquees for business, professional, and personal use. That's Eagle Print, located at 8938 Broadway, north of Loop 410. Call 822-1908.
Back at Comalander Stadium, where the Johnson Jaguars are leading the MacArhur Brahmas 14-6. About 7 minutes before we go live and kick off the second half as the MacArhur band performs their halftime show. Some high school scores from around the area on a Friday night goes as follows.
Over at Hero Stadium, South San is trailing Roosevelt 0-6, and right now they're still in the second quarter. Canyon is trailing Clemens 7-24. Smithson Valley is leading East Central at the halftime, 17-0. San Marcos is getting beaten up by Steele, 28-3. Judson is not going to let be kind to New Braunfels, and they're leading 33-14. We can't get this confirmed right now. The only confirmation score that we have is that O'Connor and Brandeis are tied up at 7-7, but we have another source that's saying at halftime it's O'Connor down 7 and Brandeis 21, but we're trying to get that confirmed. Alamo Heights at halftime is leading 35-0 over San Antonio Memorial. Somerset is trailing Gregory Portland 6-17. And my Lavernia Bears are falling to the Beeville Jones 28-14.
So speaking of Hero Stadium, that's where we'll be tomorrow night, as GDP Sports will be covering the Reagan versus Madison game, another big matchup in 27-6A. First half, what we've seen, if you ask me, is just a unbelievable start by the MacArthur Brahmas, and then they can't get that second score of the night, and Johnson ends up coming back and just annihilating them on a big long drive.
Yeah, 19 plays. I commented that I don't think I've ever seen a 19-play drive that took almost the whole quarter.
And everything
they're lucky it's 56 degrees tonight and not 90 degrees, because that temperature difference would have killed the MacArthur defense being on the field that long.
And I'm going to echo what Charles said. If you're the coaches of Johnson and you want to give your offensive line an attaboy for the year, what you do is you show that drive right there, 19 plays, all of them on the ground. And Justin Rodriguez and Ty Reason are taking care of business, going 97 yards to put that score on the board. And that was, they were down 6 at the time. That makes the score 7-6 for Johnson. But then, MacArthur has a chance to get back on the field, keep their defense a little bit on the sideline, maybe get them some rest. But all of a sudden, then a fumble by the MacArthur Brahmas, and all of a sudden their defense is back on the field after only 3 plays.
Yeah. And it was Johnson's homecoming tonight, and like you said, MacArthur's got their all their equipment out there on the field, putting on a show for their fans, and also the Johnson fans. Most schools, they support the bands really well at these football games, as they should.
And with that, we're going to try and get the name of the homecoming king and queen from the Johnson sideline. We'll try and get that for you as the second half continues. But we're about 4 minutes away from second half kickoff. And, with that, Charles now joins us. What do you think's going on in that MacArthur locker room trying to get back? They're going to get the ball, kickoff of the second half. What do you think that MacArthur, the coaches are trying to do in there?
They're going to have to sustain a drive somehow. They had no first downs in the second quarter. They've got to do something, Charles, to keep the ball for a while.
Well, they didn't have the ball but for 30 seconds in the second quarter. Here's the deal. When they had the ball, they moved the ball well. And so I think they've got to do something. They can't give up the ball early in the third quarter. They've got to sustain a drive. They had 2 good drives. So really they matched Johnson drive for drive ultimately, even though the MacArthur drives were much shorter time-wise. They take it down, and they were in position to go up 14 or 13 to nothing. Yep. And I think something that kind of caught my eye is both before the game and on the point after is missing that point after meant a little bit more, I think, for MacArthur to force the ball on that turnover at the end of that long drive. I think there was a little urgency. That was a third down play where they turned it over. And I think they weren't looking forward to kicking it. I think they were looking at 2-down territory. I think they were being a little extra aggressive there. And as a result, that's what resulted in Lee's throwing the ball into a crowd and getting that turnover. That was a big play. I think at the time you just thought, well, they just averted a score. But then, 19 plays later, it turned into a big turnaround. So that was a 13-point swing, really, any way you look at it.
And Johnson's, both their touchdowns have been off turnovers by Mac. Mac had an interception and a fumble, and that's how Johnson's got the 14 points.
Well,
so if you eliminate that, we've got almost a tie game.
Well, at any level of football, whoever wins the turnover battle is generally going to come out on top.
Time of possession, like you said, Mark, they had the ball almost 17 minutes out of 24 in the first half, and that leaves the other team. They've got to really execute that last 6 or 7 minutes that they have the ball of a half, and if they don't, you're going to be down 14-6.
And now Johnson came in my opinion, maybe a little too up, not not emotionally, but just the idea they thought they were a better team and didn't have to do anything except go out, throw the helmet on the field, and MacArhur would run away. But MacArhur came out and punched him in the mouth with that 74-yard pass play. And for that first part, even you said it on the sideline, Charles, it looked like MacArhur had the momentum. Their motion was on their side. They were up jumping and screaming and yelling, and they weren't a 1-4 team for that first few minutes of that first quarter.
Yeah, I would like to see MacArhur mix it up a little bit more, maybe go to the air a little bit more aggressively. They had some success doing that, and I think if they're going to get back into this game, just do what they did well in that first half, but they've got to keep the gas on the pedal.
When you look at the first 5 games of MAC, they've been in all 5 of those games. Like when they played Roosevelt a couple weeks ago, they were tied at 13-13 at the half with Roosevelt and lost 27-16, I think the score was. So they've been in the games, these first 5 games. They just haven't got over the hump of winning.
Well, Coach Hirsch said before the game to us during the interview that he thinks they're just literally 3 to 4 plays away from having a totally different schedule or a totally different record for the year, and I see that tonight. And literally probably 2 plays that really stand out, and one would be the interception, and then of course you saw offensively what they could do, but hands off to the Johnson Jaguars, offensive line for the diligency, and then just you've got 2 runners there that are just persistently getting 3, 4, 5 yards at a clip, and that'll wear them out. So they'll be interested. The MacArhur defense gets to rest a little bit extra long after the nice long halftime, and so we'll be interested to see what MacArhur team comes out here in the second half. Johnson's known for making great halftime adjustments. I think we all talked about that. I don't think we're going to see any more 15-yard penalties. If so, there's going to be some heads rolling at the end of this game. But I anticipate Johnson cleaning up their act a little bit.
It looks like the running back, Odunsi, he fumbled that one ball, and it looks like when he almost hits the ground, he's having a hard time holding on to the ball.
Well,
they fumbled it twice and lost one.
Yeah, he didn't lose that one near the ground. He lost.
Yeah,
he was standing straight up when he got clocked. That was a good hit.
Yeah,
it was a clean hit. It was a helmet to the ball, and there wasn't much he could do.
He lost that ball because of that beautiful hit, and what does that do for your confidence? And they're going to get the ball coming out of halftime, as you said. I think it's important. You can't go 3 and out. You want to turn the corner on your season. You got to turn the corner on this game and do something right here after halftime and make sure your adjustments do something to get that ball in the hands of the offense and keep it there, maybe even get a score, and it's a new ball game.
Yeah, I think if they move.
Both teams are down at the end zone doing their stretching exercises, waiting for the band to leave the field with the.
Even the referees down there stretching too.
Yeah, and with Johnson having their homecoming festivities, halftime's running a little longer than normal, and we'll get this third quarter started.
We'll be back.
I got a couple of updated halftime scores. So South San is trailing Roosevelt over there at Hero Stadium, 0-18. Both of those teams are 4-1. Overall. And then I do have a confirmation, the 5-0 O'Connor, undefeated with the 4-1 Brandeis. O'Connor is at halftime losing 7-21 to the Brandeis Broncos.
And a sellout crowd over at Ferris Stadium. They were talking about maybe they could have moved that game to a bigger stadium, but the Alamo Dome is been taken. UTSA plays Birmingham UAB tomorrow afternoon at the Dome, so they couldn't use that stadium. And these other stadiums in the city are being used, so they were stuck at Ferris Stadium.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we'll be back for second half action as Johnson leads the MacArthur Brahmas 14-6. You're listening to Frost High School Football.
According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, motorcyclists are 26 times more likely to die in a crash compared to other motorists. Motorcycle accidents can cause severe injuries from road rash and broken bones to spinal injuries, brain injuries, and death. If you or a loved one were injured in a motorcycle crash, call Thomas J. Henry. Thomas J. Henry handles serious motorcycle accidents and gets serious results for injured clients. Start your free claim today at tjhlaw.com/radio.
San Antonio, Texas.
Football has a long list of decorated heroes, yet it's the heroes that we encounter every day off the field that often make the greatest impact on our lives. For more than 75 years, BCFS has been a beacon of hope for children, families, and communities throughout Texas and around the world. Whether it's on the front lines of disaster response, providing medical care and shelter to survivors of hurricanes, tornadoes, tsunamis, or other emergencies. BCFS, a global system of health and human service nonprofits, making a profound difference in the lives of millions around the world.
The most important team member isn't always playing in the game. Sometimes they hold a clipboard on the sideline. A good coach doesn't just call plays. They instill confidence in the individual and help the team overcome adversity. At Frost, we believe that good coaching in your financial life can accomplish the same thing. After all, if we believe in you and you believe in you, anything is possible. Frost. Opt for optimism.
APIA specializes in real estate investor insurance. For years, investors have struggled managing individual insurance policies. So APIA built a program to put investors' properties under one insurance policy. They've been helping investors save time and improve cash flow nationwide since 2001. APIA has the flexibility to meet the unique demands of both investors and financial institutions. Call in the real estate asset protection experts today, www.apiaprotects.com, or call 877-752-2742.
Back at Comalander Stadium, where the Johnson Jags have just come through their banner, as well as the mighty Brahmas from MacArthur. Back on the field for the second half from Comalander Stadium in general, from the Gary DeLon press box in particular. Second half kickoff where Johnson will have the wind as they come out to kick off to MacArthur. And again, I think this is an important offensive series for MacArthur. Come out and establish something after halftime.
I definitely think the same. I think the MacArthur Brahmas in the locker room chat were really thinking, really devising a plan in order to get above the Johnson Jags. But that's just me. I don't know. You never know.
Well, if you knock off the team that's leading the district right now, I don't care who you are, the rest of your season lays out fairly well. You can turn your season around with just one win against a quality opponent.
You definitely can, and that'll be this team right here, because the Johnson Jags have shown a lot of skill and a lot of ability over the past few games. And here's the boot, and it is going to go short to about the 11-yard line as it takes two bounces, and that's James O'Dunsey, and he's just going to be dragged maybe about 8 yards to the side left. So the ball is going to be placed at the 21-yard line. 1st and 10 for MacArthur. We'll see if Austin Lee and his troops can march on down the field to that end zone of glory. But we'll have to see. As they step onto the field, the Johnson Jags lining up in their normal defense, and I see Randall out at the cornerback position for the Jags. And here's Austin Lee as he takes a snap. James O'Dunsey, as he gets clocked, give him about a gain of 2, and making that defensive play was number 43, and that's Justin Kirk for the Jags.
Yeah, the hole was there on the right side of that offensive line, but O'Dunsey did not turn up quick enough, and that had a bigger gain on it, and just held him to 2 yards with that good open field tackle.
So that'll make it 2nd and 8 for the Brahmas. as they go into a bunch crunch formation on the left with a single receiver on the right. And Trey Anderson. And it's a little bobble of a snap, but Austin Lee is looking for time, but he's rolling to his left now, and he's got a man, but he just throws it straight over his head. Intended receiver was Juan Carrasco, but it was just thrown way too high.
Yeah, I think Lee could have ran that ball and pulled it down and got at least a positive gain out of it.
Yeah, because he's got speed outside.
And this is not what the Brahmas wanted, and I don't think this is what they talked about in their locker room chat, Gary DeLon. We were just talking about it, how I thought what could have gone on in the locker room for both teams.
Well, even though, I'll let you get back to play first.
Bunch crunch on the left with the single receiver on the right. Here's Austin Lee dropping back to pass, looking to his left. He's got a man in the middle, and that's Juan, and he is caught. And he is going to the 40-yard line. It's finally brought down at the 36-yard line. And that's Juan Carrasco making the reception. 41-yard pass reception.
That is big. Against the wind, it's third down. Your defense needs to stay on the sideline. You need to be able to establish something, and that's a big play right down the middle of the field.
And it's been shown on the replay. That play had more views than Fox and Friends Political News.
Ooh, I like the rhyme in that, Gary DeLon.
First down since the first quarter.
First down since the first quarter for the Brahmas. Here's Austin Lee with the QB keep going to his left. He's got room. He's got the first down and more. He's to the 15, the 10, the 5, and he's going to go in the end zone.
Tremendous run by Austin Lee. We told you he had 4.6 speed, and he turned on the Jets, refueled at the 10, and was all alone.
36-yard run for little man Austin Lee.
Impressive, Charles Vickers.
Yeah, and Charles, like you said, I think they've got some kicking woes because they look like they're lining up to go for 2.
I think they are because Juan Carrasco's coming back on the field.
They just maybe want to ensure the fact that if they don't score again, I don't know.
They're chasing that missed extra point earlier.
Ooh, they're going to go for it with the double wide out set left. Here's Austin Lee rolling to his left. He's looking for a man, and he throws it in, and it is caught. And that is a 2-point conversion completed.
And it was a beautifully thrown ball right into the hands of Charles Collins, who has just started play because he had to sit out the first half.
Yeah, and Collins may be a big factor in the second half. He's a big player on both sides of the ball at some time.
He was involved in a personal foul last week, and he had to sit out. And he is a speedster on the outside.
4 plays, 79 yards, 126 off the clock.
Only 126 off the clock. Maybe that's not what they exactly wanted for.
We told you earlier this is an exciting ball game. It's 14-14 now.
Well, we talked at halftime that MacArhur had to come out with the football. You won the toss, you deferred, you want to come out after halftime and be strong. That's a pretty good statement there. Come down all the way, make that big pass play on third down, and not only do you run it in with Austin Lee, but he throws a 2-point conversion as well. 14-14, 10:29 to go in the third quarter.
And with a nip of winter in the air, they're heating up the field below. 10:24 to go here in the third.
But although you say that they're heating up below, I don't think they're heating up as much as they have in the past with that 90-degree weather and dropping maybe to the 89 degrees at 9 o'clock.
Well,
don't you think?
Yes, 24 hours ago it was like 40 degrees cold or hotter than it is now, and it was. That's Texas weather for you.
That's true.
Unpredictable. That's a good word to describe it. Unpredictable. And here's the boot. As a squib kick as it bounces and takes another bounce. Great kick. And it is going to be received, and he's to the 40, to the 45. He's to the 50 as he makes a move. He is going to be still on his feet. He's to the 30 and finally brought down at the 30-yard line. What a great return for that young man. That is number 15.
That was Willie Branch.
Willie Branch.
160-pound, 5'11", senior.
You know, in the first quarter, MacArhur started hot, got that big score, and Johnson came back and responded. MacArhur comes out, starts with a touchdown, and Johnson just comes right back and no phasing him.
What I like to call an offensive battle of the two teams. Double wide out set left with single set right as he puts a man in motion. That's Simpson. Reasoner hands it off to Justin Rodriguez as he makes a burst of speed. He's to the 20. He's to the 10. He's to the 5. He's in the end zone.
One play.
My goodness sakes alive. Speed on the outside.
That's Justin Rodriguez from 30 yards out, his second touchdown on the ground tonight.
As Walter casually says, seconds off the clock.
Oh, my goodness. He has more moves than a dance troupe in a Broadway musical.
He sure does.
And the band played on there.
As we await the PAT attempt with Reasoner.
And we'll go down to Charles Vickers
holding
before the spot.
Here's the kick, and it is up, high, far, and good. Making it 21-14. Charles?
Well, guys, that was quick. Not much to say about that. That shows Johnson's quick strike capability, not only on the kickoff return, but then Rodriguez goes right to work doing what he's done ever since we saw him a couple years ago.
Now, I will tell you that's a big deal. That kickoff return to where you set up deep in the opponent's territory. Anything can happen, and Justin Rodriguez getting the ball, anything can happen there as well.
One of the things on those short kicks that take time to develop is the players on the kick team lose their lanes, and they kind of lose track of where the ball is.
I have never been an advocate of a short kick. Because as the very reason you pointed out, if he gets loose, he doesn't have very far to go.
Yeah, Justin Rodriguez, 115 yards on 17 carries, 2 touchdowns. So we've seen Justin Rodriguez take over a game before, and he's doing the same thing this evening.
I'm a fan of the short kick in one position. And you know what that is? The onside kick.
That's true. That's very true.
Other than that, I don't see the point. Here's the boot, and it's going to be a pooch kick. Gary DeLon, I know you don't like that. It's going to go fair caught by Trey Anderson at the 34-yard line.
You give them automatic yardage. They don't even work for it. I don't like it. And
yeah, I mean, case in point right there, Gary. Johnson's got a good kicking team with the wind at their back. Why not kick it deep?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'll tell you one reason. Their kicker is hurt. And I saw Jack Comalander practicing before the game. So they can't go deep with the kick, I guess.
So it'll be the Brahmas ball. Bunch crunch on the right. The single receiver on the left. Here's the
towel there.
Gain of 17.
If he didn't have that towel so tight, he would have gone another 10 yards.
What a... So that'll make it 1st and 10 going from our right to left. Ball placed at the 49-yard line.
He's got almost equal speed to Ty Reasoner when he gets outside.
80 yards, 7 carries.
Double wide out set right. Single receiver set left. Here's the handoff to James O'Dunsey as he has nowhere to go. Give him about a gain of 2 on the play. So that'll make it 2nd and 8.
And Justin Rodriguez makes the tackle again, coming up from that strong safety position. That guy does it all.
And you know what that tells me? He has endurance to play both sides of the ball
and he is
make plays on both sides of the ball.
He's the deep safety with his speed.
He has good heart along with great athletic ability.
14 seconds on the play clock.
They're not in any hurry at all. Double wide out set right, single set left. Here's Austin Lee dropping back to pass as he has a man, and that's Collins.
That would have been another 6.
That would have been 6 because that was going to Collins right there.
Yeah, he just missed him there. He had Collins in the open, and Collins had a good step on the defender.
Yeah, Collins able to get a hand on it, but if you just take a little bit off there, maybe put some air into that ball and let Collins get to it a little easier. That was a rocket right off the top of his throwing motion, and Collins couldn't get to it. May want that opportunity back later in the game.
It's going to be a result of the play. It's 3rd and long.
So it'll be 3rd and 8. Double wide out set left. Here's Austin Lee handing it off to James O'Dunsey. There's nowhere for him to go.
Nowhere. No, that's true. And the guy that was there to make sure he didn't go any further was Austin Benjamin over at the right defensive end.
Now that's why you run that play on third down, a running play, because you're going for it on fourth.
Yeah, and it's at the 46-yard line.
So it'll be double wide out set both sides.
Oh, now get back in a short punt formation there.
Here's Austin Lee taking the punt.
Quick kick.
And it's going to roll, have a good roll on it as it goes to about the 4-yard line.
A tremendous play by Austin Lee.
A smart play.
A 44-yard quick kick.
Yeah, it kept the defense on the field instead of sending a punt returner back, because it was in an area of the field where you might want to go for it on fourth down. Good coaching on that.
Very smart, because he was also kicking into the wind. As we see, it hasn't died down. So if he would have kicked it high, it wouldn't have gone as far.
All right, Johnson started at the 3-yard line a while ago.
So it'll be a double wide out set right. Johnson in their own end zone as Reisner puts Rodriguez in motion. Here's the handoff to Simpson, and Simpson's looking for some room as he is still on his feet fighting for more yardage, and he gains about 5 on the play.
He didn't get a whole lot before he stopped in the secondary by a man we've mentioned a lot tonight, and that's Matthew Marock.
So now I see that the Johnson Jags are going to do the same thing that they did in the second quarter of the game, which is hold the possession as long as they possibly can. As Randall goes out wide right, Shane Johnson on the left. Here's Simpson in motion as he goes left to right. Here's the handoff to Rodriguez, and Rodriguez spins off one of the defense and gains about 3 yards on the carry.
Very close to a first down, but I think he's short.
He's going to be just short of the first down, making it 3rd and 1.
Yeah, that play was designed to go right, and Justin Rodriguez put his foot in the ground and went back up the middle and made something out of nothing, because there really wasn't a big hole there at all.
Another play that shows that he has great athleticism.
Twinell Henderson made the stop.
6 minutes, 57 seconds left in the third quarter. Double wide out set right with Shane Johnson isolated on the left. Here's Simpson in motion as he goes over to the left side. Here's Reisner handing it off to Rodriguez, trying to make room and get the first down, and he does.
Well, they hit him behind the line of scrimmage, but he bulled his way forward and gets the first down.
Yeah, missed opportunity there by that MacArhur defense. They had Justin Rodriguez, like you said, Gary, in the backfield, and he just kept his legs going and was able to move the chains.
His feet never stopped moving. Attendance, 3,314.
Homecoming night for the Johnson Jaguars.
That doesn't account for the band and cheerleaders and players and whoever else. So it'll be trip set right. Shane Johnson isolated on the left. Here's Comalander in the game. Good to see him back in as Reisner takes a snap, goes to his left now as he runs out of bounds.
And he takes flight down the sideline.
Pickup of 9 for Ty Reisner.
Control tower gave him position to land, and he did.
So make it 2nd and 1 with 6 minutes, 8 seconds left in the third quarter, going from my left
now they
to
went
right.
Ball control with the score 21-14 here in the third.
You're doing the same thing, Walter. I know you've been commenting on it. Randall, Shane Johnson, Comalander all in a trip set formation as Comalander goes in motion. Left to right. Here's Ty Reisner handing off to Rodriguez. He has a hole, but he is tackled, but still gets the first down on the play, but making a good defensive shoelace tackle as Comalander gets up, shaken up. He's limping off the field, and now he's a little running slowly.
Michael Gilson was the tackler.
Yeah, I'm seeing those MacArhur defensive linemen kind of running around blocks, trying to get to the ball carrier, and with the speed that Johnson has, you can't do that. You got to go through the blocker. You got to take on the block, hole up, make sure the hole gets closed up, and let your linebackers do the work.
So it'll be Randall on the right, Shane Johnson wide left. Here's Simpson in motion. Ty Reisner taking the snap, keeping and going towards the right. He is stopped by 3 Brahmas.
Yeah, the first bull to get to him was Nathan Castillo. And he lost a half a yard.
Yeah, they've seen that play a couple times tonight.
Yeah, Colby Masks, number 22, is also in there, Gary. And like you guys said, 3 guys swarming to the quarterback there. Big stop there from the Brahmas. Now it's a second and long. See what the Brahmas can do here.
2nd and 11. Shane Johnson going out left with Simpson in that double wideout. Here's Shane Johnson in motion now as he hands the ball off to Rodriguez. Rodriguez trying to get to the left. He makes a hard juke and a hard hit, trucking that defensive cornerback straight into the ground.
Yard short.
Give him a gain of 10 on that carry. So it'll be 3rd and 1.
That was Jonah Dunlop there, Chase, that took that big hit. He gets credited with a tackle, but not sure if Rodriguez tackled him or vice versa.
Looked like Rodriguez tackled him.
3rd and 1.
3rd, 3 and 6 for 3rd down conversions for the Johnson Jags. Double wide out set right with Shane Johnson isolated on the left. Here's Reisner putting Simpson in motion as he goes to the left now. Here's Reisner handing it off to Rodriguez. Rodriguez pushes through, gets the first down, and more. As there's a little skirmish going on as the flag is thrown by the head referee.
I think it may be the same young man that was involved earlier in the ball game. If it is, he's going to get an earful again. He's going to have Eustachian too, but sore.
Maybe not an earful, but sitting out time. As we await the head referee's call.
Yeah, the result of the play is a first down. Let's see if it stands or where they move the ball after the flag.
Offsetting penalties.
That is the same guy who had the penalty earlier. He should be expelled from the game.
Well, I don't think
even though if it was an offsetting play.
Yeah, I don't think the official made note of his number. Maybe I'm not going to mention if he didn't.
So it'll be 1st and 10. The ball at the 43-yard line, going from my left to right. Double wide out set right with Randall on the wide right, Shane Johnson on the wide left. Here's Simpson in motion as Reisner takes the snap, and he's going to roll to his left and keep, and he's going to go on that outside once again, but his stop this time gave him a gain of 4 on the carry. 3 minutes, 33 seconds left in the 3rd quarter.
To the 47.
Good open field tackle there by Cortland Stevens.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a one-handed tackle there, Mark.
Yeah, he's making up for that penalty on the previous play. This is a rerun of that long drive in the 2nd quarter. They're moving in. The defensive linemen for MacArhur are moving in and out, trying to get some breathers. That's the 2nd line right there.
It's called strategy, and this is their strategy. Here's Rodriguez in motion. Double wide out set right now. Here's Simpson carrying the ball as he bullets through, and he gets the first down.
Man, he showed some spurt off the handoff too, didn't he?
And that's why he is in the fullback position.
A gain of 8.
Yeah, you got to get off the field if you're the MacArhur. You got to do something here, shoot some gaps or something, because 5 or 6 yards at a time is not going to bode well for you.
Well, this is Friday night, but it was in 1975, the first Saturday Night Live network show ever. George Carlin was the first host on that particular night. Native Texan.
Double wide out set right. Here's Simpson in motion. Shane Johnson on the left. And here's the handoff to Justin Rodriguez. Justin Rodriguez going straight up the middle once again. No one's filling that gap on that defensive line.
Yeah, that offensive line is having their way. They're pushing the defense back, and like I said, the defenders are trying to run around blocks, and the result is Justin Rodriguez doesn't get touched for 5 yards.
And he may be nearing the 200-yard rushing mark, Walter. 147 yards, 23 carries, so he's the workhorse.
He is a workhorse. So it'll be double wide out set right once again. Shane Johnson isolated on the left. Here's Simpson in motion. Same formation, same play type. And here's the handoff to Rodriguez, and it's the same results and more. He's to the 20, he's to the 15, he's to the 10, he's to the 5, and he's going to go into the end zone.
And he rolls across the line, and he gets another touchdown. The little guy is one of the best running backs in all of South Texas. I'll tell you that. He is impressive. He's quick. He's durable. He's got great leg drive. And he displayed more power than a rich father-in-law on that play.
That is a new one.
And here's the PAT attempt, as it is
no good.
No good. That was a bad shank.
Well, we told you that the regular kicker has been hurt. He was an all-star candidate, too, by the way. And he was shaken up earlier, I guess, last week or 2 weeks ago. And so they were using different kickers, and that hurt the fact that they couldn't get the extra point.
So second 97-yard drive.
That may be a record in San Antonio. That's their second straight 97-yard drive.
5:47 only.
And first it was 19 plays. How many was this one?
12 plays, 5:47 off the clock. But you could tell they're establishing their dominance, and they're doing whatever they want to on offense. And Justin Rodriguez saw the end zone and wasn't going to be denied.
Well, Charles is getting an eyeful just by trying to follow the play on the sideline.
Well, it's a fun game to watch. Not only did it start the night with good football weather, but there's been a lot of action down here.
It looks like it. I've been watching.
Yeah, there does seem to be a little more hop in the jump with these kids with dropping temperature.
Yeah, I agree.
And here's a little pooch kick, and it's going to go to the 21-yard line, and it is caught, and he's going to do a little move, and he is brought down at the 31-yard line.
See, that's the result of not having a
healthy kicker.
A healthy long kicker.
He can't kick it hard. He can't kick it long.
It's a kind of a mirror image of the first half where MacArhur came out, got the first score of the half, and Johnson came back and scored twice. Same thing here. After halftime, MacArhur goes down, ties the score, and we've had 2 touchdowns since then by Johnson, making it 27 to 14.
Reed Keeney just isn't healthy, and the kicking game has been a factor for them tonight.
It definitely has.
But they're still up by 13 points.
Double wide out set right. Here's Austin Lee taking the snap as he runs to his right, and he's going to try to get the outside. Now it cuts back into the inside. He's to the 50, and he is finally brought down at the 46-yard line. Great run by Austin Lee.
But ball was free, but I think the ground caused it.
The umpire is coming in, pointing to the ground, saying that ball was down. So that's going to be a 21-yard gain for a first down.
I'll tell you what,
Austin Lee.
Young Mr. Lee showed me something tonight.
Yeah, there was a great hesitation there about halfway through. It just made some guys miss him.
He's more deliberate than the running back. He knows where he wants to go, and
101 yards already.
But he also has more experience. Double wide out set left, single receiver on the right. Here's Austin Lee handing it off to James O'Dunsey, and James O'Dunsey cuts into the right. Just couldn't keep his footing, and if he would have had the first down.
He got 7 yards.
But he still got 7 yards.
Wow.
A minute, 24 seconds left in the third quarter. Mark, did you have anything to say?
No, I'm good.
All right.
The Brahma bull weighs between 1,600 and 2,200 pounds and was brought to the U.S. from India between 1854 and 1900. I saw the first one arrive.
Did you really? Man, you're old. Here's the flag on the play. If they wouldn't have had the flag on the play, they would have had the first down.
He wouldn't jump. All right, with a minute to play. I tell you what, though, the MacArhur Brahmas are playing their hearts out tonight, and they've got some talent. I don't know how they're 1-4. Of course, competition means a lot, but Johnson lost to Brandeis in that opening game, 31-25. Don't forget, Brandeis is second ranked in the city. We had him more score in that ball game, by the way, from Ferris.
So that'll make it 2nd and 12 for
they
the
beat
Brahmas.
San Marcos 49-14 and lost to New Braunfels 28-21.
45 seconds left in the third quarter as the clock ticks down. Here's Austin Lee dropping back to pass. He's looking to his left. He's got a man. That's Collins, and Collins is just barely going to touch the ball with the tips of his fingers.
Had he put it about another 8 inches, it would have been a touchdown.
Yeah, that score from Ferris Stadium, Brandeis still up 23-7, third quarter score.
Boy, over O'Connor.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back to that incomplete pass, just for then, it would have been really easy for Collins to slow down, either get a pass interference penalty or actually catch the ball. Just he overran it.
Double wide out set left, single receiver on the left. Here's Austin Lee throwing it to Juan Carrasco, and it is caught, and he is brought down at the 18-yard line. Great reception, and that'll make the first down.
That is a big first down for the MacArthur offense. With 30 seconds left in the third quarter, they needed a spark, and I think they got it right there.
I'll tell you what, win, lose, or draw, this is a confidence builder for this MacArthur team tonight because they have looked impressive at various times. They're a better team than 1-4, I'll tell you that.
Definitely a better team than what their record says. Pick up a 30 on that pass reception.
They've got some talent. Now it's developing, and they're getting more confidence, and that's the end of the third period.
They're not going to try to get it off, and it's 1 second, and it's the end of the third quarter.
Well, they had to take a timeout with a second left. I think they're going to put a second back on this clock because the MacArthur offense was thinking they were going to be able to run the clock out, but the play clock was down to 0, so they didn't take a penalty, or they put a second back on the clock.
Well, then why are they changing in the
But
field?
the referees are not moving. They're saying bring them back because
they're not coming back. They're coming back.
Yeah, MacArthur had to burn a timeout there.
Yeah, it still says 1 second.
Yeah. Well, the play clock was definitely 1 second faster than the third quarter clock, so they had to do something and realized it too late.
I've enjoyed this ball game on a Friday night in October. The night before Oklahoma, Texas, and A&M, Alabama.
Let me guess, who you're rooting for? Hey, don't hate on the Sooners. Double wide out set right, single set left. Here's Austin Lee looking to his left. He's got a man in the end zone, and it is Collins. And it's just going to be dropped. I think sitting out the first half is just killing him.
Well, and he is so disgusted with himself, he goes all the way to the other side of the track.
It was an over-the-shoulder, kind of a basket catch, but he had it. He would have
had a peach basket right there. But that's the end of the third quarter, 27-14, as the Johnson Jaguars try to go 3-0 in district play against the Brahmas, who already have lost one in district play. They lost 2, actually. And we'll be back. You're listening to Frost High School football.
While some banks are slow to approve auto loans, RBFCU is hitting the gas. With one of San Antonio's lowest loan rates and fast online approval, you'll have more time and money to live life your way. Apply today at rbfcu.org. Subject to credit approval, rates and terms subject to change. Other restrictions may apply. Better rates. It's what we do at RBFCU.
Back at Comalander Stadium before we go back to play in the fourth quarter. Some quick stats. 315 total yards of offense for MacArthur, 361 for Johnson.
As MacArthur is knocking on the Johnson Jags door, here's Collins in motion. Austin Lee dropping back to pass, looking to Collins again, and it is caught, and he is in to the end zone. 18-yard pass reception, and he got it on the third try.
Tremendous pattern because Collins was all by himself. No one was within a yard of him. And easy touchdown toss.
Yeah, that took a little bit to develop. So credit to Austin Lee for standing in there in that offensive line for giving him the time.
I like the kid. I think he's a good-looking quarterback.
As he await the PAT attempt. to see if they can make it 21-27. And the kick is up, high, far, and good. Making it 27-21 with only 6 seconds off the clock in the fourth quarter. You're listening to Frost High School Football.
The most important team member isn't always playing in the game. Sometimes they hold a clipboard on the sideline. A good coach doesn't just call plays. They instill confidence in the individual and help the team overcome adversity. At Frost, we believe that good coaching in your financial life can accomplish the same thing. After all, if we believe in you and you believe in you, anything is possible. Frost. Opt for optimism.
Man who split the upright to make it 27-21. They're still in this ball game.
Yeah, Gary, the 6 plays, 68 yards, 2:14 off the clock, 18-yard pass from Lee to Collins. And this time of year, the dove hunters always say, if there's lead in the air, there's hope. And if you're the MacArhur Brahmas, you're within 1 score. There's hope in the fourth quarter.
Do you hear what one deer said to the other deer? Gee, I wish I had his dough.
What one buck said to the other buck, yeah.
So I think there's a new kicker in here. Looks like a big man.
Yeah.
And here's the boot. Oh, he kicks it long. They were not expecting that. And it rolls into the end zone. It's picked up. And he's going to try to run it out. And he stiff arms one man. He's to the 10-yard line. He's to the 15. He's to the 20. And he's going to fight for more yardage. And he's going to be finally brought down at the 30-yard line.
35-yard return because he took it 5 yards deep in the end zone.
Very dangerous, but he was successful.
A tremendous run. And let me tell you, that the big tackle, I'm not sure what number he was, but he must weigh about 270. Jose Fernandez Smeek.
Yeah, I think he probably went up to the coach at halftime and said, hey, Coach, I can kick it further than those guys.
And he did, didn't he?
Great boot. And here's Simpson taking the handoff as he fights for yardage, hitting that right gap.
And it was a great return of 35 yards because it was a 5-yard deep in the end zone reception.
And
it was nice to see Collins make up for that missed drop pass.
Number 58 looks like he's shaken up.
Collins has got some great speed. So 11:20 to play in the ball game.
It'll be double wideout set right with a single receiver on the left. Here's Reisner putting Shane Johnson in motion. High snap, but it's a new man running the ball now. 35, and he's makes a juke, and he's to the 50. He's to the 40. He's to the 30. He's to the 20, and the 10, the 5, and into the end zone. 66-yard run.
And ladies and gentlemen, there is no official number 35 on the Johnson Jaguar.
Well, never mind. Well, that young man, whoever he is, has some very good speed and athletic ability.
How many yards did he total have? My goodness.
He's got the same juke and speed that Rodriguez has.
We're going to have to find out his name. Because I don't have a 35.
I don't have a 35 either.
Well, I don't have a 35 either.
We'll go find out.
I will go find out.
2 plays.
So it'll be as we await the PAT attempt. Or are they going to go for 2?
Reisner.
So it's going to be Reisner and Simpson. With Randall on the left side, Shane Johnson and number 35, mysterious 35. Here's Randall in motion. Reisner takes a snap as he rolls to his right. He's got a man, and it is caught, and it is in for the 2-point conversion. That's Randall making the catch. So now the score is 35-21. the Johnson Jags in the lead. You're listening to Frost High School football.
Coming home means a lot of things to a lot of people. It's a place where you can kick off your shoes or even kick it up a notch. As the #1 mortgage lender in Texas for credit unions, you can trust RBFCU when buying your new home. We'll be there for you every step of the way. So whether it's buying your first home or financing your forever home, you can count on us to make your dream come true. To apply online and for complete details, visit rbfcu.org. Some restrictions may apply. Loan subject to credit approval. RBFCU is an equal housing lender.
Back at Comalander Stadium, where the MacArhur Brahmas look at the bottom of a 35-21 score as Johnson goes 2 plays, 71 yards, 108 off the clock, a 66-yard run by number 35, a running back who's not on our roster.
Who is Justin Rodriguez because he'd ripped his jersey earlier.
It is Justin Rodriguez.
Justin Rodriguez. And then the 2-point conversion from Reasoner to Randall, 35-21 Johnson.
That's what you call in the business rip and read.
Yeah, that's his 3rd touchdown of the night.
So here's the original kicker kicking off, and it's going to be a pooch kick going and bouncing to the 21-yard line. It's bobbled and is picked up, and that's Collins. And Collins to the 35, the 40, the 45, the 50, the 45, the 40, and the ball comes loose.
Goodness sakes, I've never seen this kind of speed at one time.
And Collins has some speed once he gets to the outside.
Oh, man.
Both of these teams just have offensive threats.
That was a heck of a stiff arm there.
Yeah.
He had a couple of them, but that second one was quite effective.
Impressive. It took the tollway to Buda and stopped off at the House of Pies and Kyle. And what a slice of yardage he had.
Rodriguez, 253 yards rushing now. 25 carries.
So,
how many yards?
253.
Justin has 253 yards rushing.
Here's Austin Lee with the QB keep, and he's going to go to that left side, and he's going to get a gain of about 8 yards on the play, making it 2nd and 2.
My goodness.
Oh, he only got 7.
This is like Rocky against Apollo Creed. They're just one knockout punch after another.
Ball at the 32. Here's the handoff to James.
Lost the ball.
And it's
Dunsey fumbled
going to be a fumble, and Johnson recovered the ball.
Oh, that's tough.
56, that's Brandon Brown. That's Brandon Brown.
BB.
Yeah, O'Dunsey was into the second level with the linebackers, and he just kept going, and the ball got stripped.
And so did the ball keep going, unfortunately.
BB came in like a high-powered BB gun.
3rd turnover of the night for MacArhur. 2nd fumble.
I've had a great time. This has been fun to watch tonight. This is unbelievable.
Definitely has been. 10 minutes, 8 seconds left in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, now they put Comalander out. Now they got to call a timeout,
yeah,
I think.
They had 2 men in motion at the same time. Somebody made a mistake, so they had to call a timeout.
10:08 to play in the ball game. 35-21, an exciting ball game. A lot of speed and long runs, and my goodness. You're listening to Frost High School football.
The most important team member isn't always playing in the game. Sometimes they hold a clipboard on the sideline. A good coach doesn't just call plays. They instill confidence in the individual and help the team overcome adversity. At Frost, we believe that good coaching in your financial life can accomplish the same thing. After all, if we believe in you and you believe in you, anything is possible. Frost. Opt for optimism.
10 minutes, 8 seconds left in the 4th quarter. As we will see the Johnson Jags have another offensive drive. And maybe they'll get another score. What do you think, Gary?
Well, I think it is a lot of speed on both sides of the line of scrimmage. And handoff again to Simpson. Yep.
Yeah, the story of this game tonight is that defensive line for MacArhur not able to stop the run game by Johnson.
We have a shaken up Brahma. And I think that's one of the wideouts.
A couple scores from around the area. Number 1, Judson having no problem with New Braunfels, 40-14.
Okay.
Number 2, Brandeis, 23-7 over number 5, O'Connor. Number 3 in the city, Clemens, 34. New Braunfels Canyon, 7. All these are third quarter scores.
Let's see, the young player shaken up for MacArthur was Cortland Stevens, but he's okay. Goes off under his own power.
And over at Hero Stadium, where we'll be tomorrow night, Roosevelt having no problems with South San, 32-0. That's a pretty good game tomorrow night with Reagan Madison going on.
That will be 2 teams in the playoffs, in my opinion.
As I see from 5 yards back, here's Reisner taking the snap. As he throws the ball long, Shane Johnson down there makes the catch and gets hit.
The 28-yard line.
Hey, this is a great view, Gary DeLon. You need to come see this. Man, it looks like I'm in a movie theater.
Oh.
In your Embassy 14.
Well, this is the cartoon, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Reisner kind of underthrew that, but he threw that so poorly because he was just doing nothing but his
getting
arms.
rid of the ball.
He did not step. He didn't turn his shoulder.
Cole Reagan was the defender.
Yeah, he just heaved it up there, and it's a first down at the 33.
8 minutes, 55 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here's the flag on the play.
There's going to be.
Yeah.
Well, it may be a team that's 1-4 against another team that is in the lead in the district, but you can't ask for a better effort tonight.
Nice, exciting game.
The MacArthur Brahmas have performed. 8:47 to play.
So it'll be Randall. I almost said Wandle. Out wide right. Here's Reisner throwing to him, actually, and he is caught, and he does a little spin, and is brought down for a loss of 2.
And if you recall, back about 3 or 4 weeks ago, Jaron was shaken up in that one game, and they thought he might have a concussion. But he's played well since then.
And you missed a little part where he had the 2-point conversion.
Yep, loss of 1.
So that'll make it 2nd and 16. 8 minutes, 8 seconds left in the fourth quarter. 35-21, Johnson leads. Yeah. And here's Simpson in motion. And here's Reisner going to the right as he is
he's smashed.
Being smashed by 4 Brahmas.
Gain of 2. 7:35 to go in the game.
Chance for the MacArthur defense to get off the field here, a 3rd and long. 7.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
4-7 on third down conversion tries and 7:20 to go.
As we await the play, 7 minutes left in the fourth. Double wideout set left with Shane Johnson isolated on the right. Here's Reisner as he takes the snap.
Somebody may have moved early.
He's dropping back to pass. He's looking to his right. He's got a man. That's Shane. And come back, Shane, because he got the ball.
Touchdown.
Yeah,
3 defenders there.
Yeah, I don't think Randall pushed off, but he's signaling it as a touchdown. But there's a flag there at the second. They may be bringing it back as offensive pass interference.
It looks like Shane Johnson's very upset.
That was a pass play of about 37 yards. And it's going to bring it back.
Replay the down. Offsetting penalties.
Wow, that was a tough break.
Tough break.
That was impressive, though, Charles.
Yeah, it really was. We see a lot of great action during these games week after week, but that's as good as catches I've seen.
Yeah, he caught it between two defenders.
Definitely some good skill position players out here on both teams.
That was like a Connor Fox moment. Double wide out set right. Shane Johnson isolated on the left. Here's a man in motion. That's Simpson. As Reasoner takes a snap. Dropping back to pass. Same play. Here we go. But it is tossed to Randall this time, and he's going to get the first down. He's to the 20, and he fights for a little more yardage and is brought out of bounds at the 17-yard line.
Yeah, even longer yardage was prevented there but by the defender.
18 yards for the young man, Jaron Randall.
Yeah, the MacArhur defense not able to get the stop even on 3rd and long. Johnson has the perfect play call of an underneath pass to Randall, who did the rest with his feet. Moved the chains. 6:45 left to go. Johnson on the door again in the red zone.
Knocking on heaven's door.
There's been a little too much singing here tonight, but they got good voices, I guess.
Trip set to the right.
Simpson got a little confused, but it's Shane Johnson in the end zone, and he caught it. And it's a TD.
A tremendous leaping grab. And he went about a foot off the ground to bring it in.
17-yard pass reception. What a beautiful catch. Shane Johnson just has some great hands.
6'1", 180.
Yeah, Shane Johnson high-pointed that ball, wanted it more than the DB, who wasn't in bad position. But Johnson just went up and got it.
Come back, Shane. Come back.
41-21.
And here's the boot. And it is up, high, far, and good. Make it 42-21. Johnson Jags in the lead. 6 minutes, 33 seconds left in the fourth quarter. You're listening to Frost High School Football.
APIA specializes in real estate investor insurance. For years, investors have struggled managing individual insurance policies. So APIA built a program to put investors' properties under one insurance policy. They've been helping investors save time and improve cash flow nationwide since 2001. APIA has the flexibility to meet the unique demands of both investors and financial institutions. Call in the real estate asset protection experts today, www.apiaprotects.com, or call 877-752-2742.
Back at Hero Stadium, where the Johnson Jags have struck early and often as they go 6 plays, 73 yards, 3:24 off the clock. A 17-yard touchdown pass from Reasoner to Shane Johnson makes the score 42 for Johnson, 21 MacArhur.
Happy birthday today to Dottie West, Grand Ole Opry fame, born in 1932 on this date. And actor Luke Perry, born in 1966. Talked to Coach Comalander at halftime. He and Mary Comalander had been out to Albuquerque, where they witnessed more than 400 balloons floating in the high skies of Sandia Crest in the Albuquerque Balloon Festival.
That sounds wonderful. Here's the boot. And it is going to go down to the 16-yard line. It is caught, and that's Collins. And he is brought down at the 32-yard line.
Collins has a lot of great quickness. We see why they missed him in the first half.
So the Brahmas will have a chance to get a little scoring drive, maybe, with the 6 minutes, 28 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Score update from Hero Stadium. Roosevelt's up 39-0 over South San.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. Roosevelt, great team, great running back. Just sometimes they just have a little off day.
Well, when you beat that team that big, you got a pretty good night going.
Yes, you do. Delay a game from MacArhur, that is definitely not what they want right now.
MacArhur has shown us flashes of outstanding play. Then they've shot themselves in the foot and their defenses had to take up the slack, and they've suffered tonight.
Here's
42-point
Austin Lee
score.
dropping back to pass, and it's going to go to Juan Carrazo, and he's going to be brought down at the 46-yard line. Almost 47.
But because of all the great offense, it's been an exciting ball game to watch if you're a fan.
Yeah, but that's what you're talking about, Gary. Flashes of brilliance, but lacking consistency is right there. You can see the good arm on Austin Lee and the receivers that he's got available to him.
Yeah, he does.
Not only the good arm, but the good IQ that he has, too. Double wide out set right, single set left. Here's Austin Lee getting pressured, and he throws it out of bounds. And there's going to be a flag on the play.
Could be that. It could be a roughing the passer. It could be interference.
7 to 15 passing.
Holding MacArthur.
Yeah, a couple of those offensive linemen had Brandon Brown around the neck trying to keep him from their quarterback as he was coming in with a full head of steam.
I'd have him around the neck, too, if I were trying to get away from him.
He's been double team all night, and he just keeps his motor running and doesn't give up on the play, and he's been in on some big plays. I think he was the one who stripped that last fumble away from the running back from MacArthur. But, we've called his name quite a bit. He is definitely the anchor of that defense.
Fourth penalty for 30.
So it'll be double wide out set right. As Austin Lee takes a snap. He's running to his right, and he's to the 40, to the 45, and he leaps over.
The ground caused the ball to pop out. He picked up a first down, though, with about 12 yards on the carry.
No, that was a penalty.
He got about 12 yards, but it was first and 20.
That's right, on the penalty, yeah.
Good lead block there by O'Dunsey.
But he picked up
put
12.
The ball on the ground a couple times tonight, but he's doing everything he can to make his quarterback get some more yards.
So now it'll be 2nd and 8. 5 minutes, 16 seconds left in the fourth quarter as the clock starts to tick down to 0. Here's Austin Lee dropping back to pass, looking to his right. Now he's keeping the ball, and he's going to run, and he's got the first down, and he's brought down at the 40, 38-yard line.
Yeah, that was a really good job of instinctively knowing that he had to get out of there. He was about to throw the ball when he's feeling the pressure from behind from number 56, and got out of there just in time to get a big first down.
And Matthew Rodriguez made the stop.
So it'll be double wide out set left. That's Juan and Collins. Single receiver on the right. Austin Lee takes a snap, looking to his left, and he's going to be whacked. And there's Brandon Brown, BB.
And he's pancaked and offers the syrup in return. And Austin Lee is really shaken up. I can understand how he was shaken up by that.
I'll go to the pancake analogy because Brandon Brown basically just went to IHOP and had a short stack on the backside of Lee because Lee did not do anything except go down and go down hard.
No, he did. Well, Brandon Brown weighs 240, and when he is going downhill in a freight train, watch out.
Here's Austin Lee as he hands it off to James O'Dunsey, and he's got room 30.
He'll go.
He's to the 20,
He's gone.
And he's got speed to the 10, into the end zone. 50 yards by James O'Dunsey.
There's a late penalty here.
He's definitely got speed, but he's very upset now that
this is away from the ball, and after the touchdown. And maybe some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct against Johnson.
I'll tell you what, there are some young men with talent on this MacArthur team. Oh, it's a touchdown
after the
play.
But it was
personal foul against MacArthur.
So we will wait the PAT boot.
It is now 42-27.
I think we got the closest game in the city tonight. There's lots of 49-0s out there, and this is
we've had an exciting ball game with speed and touchdowns and big plays and hard hits.
As we await the PAT boot.
down, unsportsmanlike conduct on MacArhur, 15 yards from the spot, 3-yard line.
And they're going to move.
They're just moving. They're assessing that 15 yards on the PAT.
Or the extra point will come on the long penalty.
This is like a field goal range.
35 yards.
Definitely. 35 yards. And the kick is low and no good. Making it 42.
Well, that was one of the high odds that Las Vegas would have had if he could even get it there, and he couldn't. So it's 42-27, 3:52 to play in the fourth quarter of this ball game. That's an exciting ball game. And we'll be back. You're listening to Frost High School Football.
Some people know me by Smitty. Most people call me Mr. Smith. One day I went to Randolph Brooks Federal Credit Union. Ever since that day, I developed a relationship with Randolph Brooks Federal Credit Union that was second to none. I like RBFCU because they create a stress-free environment. It's all about relationships.
Better banking. It's what we do at RBFCU. Join today at rbfcu.org. Membership eligibility required. Written terms subject to change.
Back at Comalander Stadium, where the MacArhur Brahmas have gone 68 yards in 5 plays, 50 of those on a afterburner touchdown by James O'Dunsey, making the score 42-27 Johnson.
So the MacArhur Brahmas will kick it off to the Johnson Jags, and if the Johnson Jags do their strategy again.
Well, they are in a prevent, an onside prevent. They've got everybody up there within 7 yards of that 10-yard line.
And it's
onside kick.
Kick.
My, a good onside kick, but recovered by.
That was Jaron Randall.
And he
reception.
Got a little Charlie horse. He's limping off, but he'll apparently stay in.
He'll be okay.
I've got a score update from Ferris Stadium. The game of the week, O'Connor is trailing 15-30 to Brandeis.
Wow, Brandeis pouring it on the Panthers, huh?
Yeah, we've got a good game tomorrow night over at Hero Stadium with the Reagan Rattlers and the Madison Mavs.
That's going to be something to see, too. Here's Rodriguez in motion. Now going back to the right side. Here's Simpson running the ball now as he plows through the defense, getting a gain of about 5 yards on the play. As the clock will here's unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, that's on Johnson, I think.
Yeah, that's on Johnson. There was some after the play stuff going on by Eric Bongiorno, and he was involved after the play with Cortland Stevens, and what got him the flag is Bongiorno pointed to the stadium scoreboard, basically saying, look over there and tell me who's doing a good job.
That's called taunting.
Yeah.
If you flaunt it, you taunt it, right?
No, not really.
15-yard penalty, second down.
Yeah. I got 8 penalties for 90 yards for the Johnson Jags. So the coaches will definitely have something to talk about.
Yes, they will.
Even though you're winning the game, they'll have something to coach from during next week's practices.
And they'll be on penalties for the teachings.
Same diet, same tennis shoe.
3 minutes, 31 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Double wide out set left, single set right as Reisner puts the man in motion. Here's the snap, and he hands it off to Simpson. Simpson goes up that right side, and he's got room. He's to the 50. He's to the 40, and he's brought down at the 37-yard line.
Touchdown saving tackle there by junior DB Cole Reagan. Otherwise, there'd be another 7 points on the board for Johnson on that breakaway run by Simpson.
He had more moves than Jessica Simpson did on stage.
First and 10.
That's kind of interesting.
Double wide out set left, single set right. Here's a snap by Reasoner as he hands it off to Simpson. Once again, Simpson fighting for some more yardage as he gains 4 on the play.
Down to 2:37 and ticking, and Charles Vickers will be talking to Ron Ritterman when this one's over.
2 minutes. Almost getting to the 2-minute mark.
Looks like Justin Rodriguez is taking a well-deserved break on the sideline late in this game after 25 carries for 253. Even with Harlandale math, that's 10 yards a carry and 4 touchdowns tonight for Justin Rodriguez.
And that's just crazy. Here's a man in motion. Simpson taking it, trying to get the first down. He does get it. He stays on his feet.
Yeah, and that was a mask-to-mask tackle as they... And
Simpson taking some hard hits out there.
Hiram Speed slowed him down, didn't he?
Definitely did as the clock ticks to the 1 minute, 40-second mark.
42-27.
This is going to be a great ball game tonight. Great weather.
It's exciting.
Great action.
I've enjoyed it.
And the weather's kind of made people a little bit frisky. Here's a man in motion. Single receiver on both sides. As we got a new quarterback in, giving it off to Simpson. And it's going to be almost a first down. He's going to be about 2 yards short. So the ball will be marked at the 17-yard line. 16, that will be Spencer Hawthorne.
Spencer Hawthorne is the quarterback now.
Reasoner did a great job tonight along with Justin Rodriguez. Simpson with the motions and blocks and the runs. Shane Johnson with the impressive catches. And here's Simpson being stopped for the one time, and he spins, and he is spinning a lot. Looks like a ballerina.
Now, Ty Reasoner on the sideline after a 69-yard rushing performance tonight, 157 through the air, 1 touchdown throwing, 1 touchdown running for Reasoner.
20 seconds in the game.
And that's going to be the end of the game.
They say, let's go take our victory cheer, and that's what they're doing, ladies and gentlemen. Heck of a ball game, though, even though it's a 42-27 victory for the Johnson Jaguars. And they remain undefeated in district play at 3-0.
Yeah, Johnson took some punches tonight, but they responded very well.
They did. They did.
I think they need to clean up some of those penalties and not let some of the heat of battle get to them, because those 15-yard penalties could hurt them later on in the season in a closer game.
They got some talent.
Both sides of the ball have talent, and both sides of the stadium have talent tonight. As MacArhur, even though their record doesn't show it, they got quite a bit of talent on that Brahmas team.
Yes, they do. And here's a guy with some talent down on the field waiting to talk to the winning coach, Ron Ritterman, and that's Charles Vickers.
Coach Ron Ritterman, the scoreboard made it look not quite as close as it was.
Oh, it was a very close game. And all of our district games are going to be that way. You got to play 4 quarters in all 3 phases of the game to get out of here with a victory. And tonight was no different. We had some guys that stepped up and made some really big plays for us, both defensively and offensively, and just enough to outscore them, basically. But, yeah, MacArhur played really well tonight. Coach Hurst did a great job this week with their circumstances. And it was a great high school football game. I know the fans got their money's worth.
Yeah, we enjoyed watching this one. This was a really good game. Talk a little bit about, you're down 6-0. You get a turnover there. A 19-play drive. Get yourselves back on the game. Talk about that drive.
Well, our guys executed, and that's the bottom line. We talk about trying to be explosive and make big plays, but sometimes to be successful in a football game, you got to do what's best for all 3 phases, and that is to drive the ball, run some clock, let our defense rest, and our guys were able to do that tonight. I thought our quarterback, our running back, all those guys, our offensive line really did a great job tonight, and that's what it came down to.
some of the lowlights of the first half, penalties. How do you address that at halftime? What did you say to your team?
Well, it's always about discipline. It really is. It's being focused on what's important at the moment. And anytime you get distracted or think about things that have nothing to do with the game, that's typically when you see penalties and turnovers. And we had some of those at crucial times. I was a little bit disappointed in that, but I thought our kids refocused well and did a pretty good job of cleaning some of that stuff up.
Well, a great ball game, and congratulations on the big win. No.
Thank you. Any win's a big one in this district, so thank you. We appreciate y'all coming out and supporting us.
Thank you, Charles, and thank you, Ron. Thanks to Coach Kevin Hurst tonight for filling in a tough situation, and he had some big cleats to fill, and he did it well. And we know that Lady Bird Johnson, the namesake of this school, would be very proud of the young men who represent the school named in her honor. And indeed, they played well, and I was impressed with no matter who they seemed to go to, they had great outside speed. There's a lot of quickness on that ball club. So it was exciting, and we'll be back to wrap it up for you in just a moment. You're listening to Frost High School Football.
The most important team member isn't always playing in the game. Sometimes they hold a clipboard on the sideline. A good coach doesn't just call plays. They instill confidence in the individual and help the team overcome adversity. At Frost, we believe that good coaching in your financial life can accomplish the same thing. After all, if we believe in you and you believe in you, anything is possible. Frost. Opt for optimism.
We're back at Comalander Stadium to wrap up this beautiful Gary DeLon Productions broadcast.
From the Gary DeLon booth. I mean, we might as well call the street out there Gary DeLon Highway. But some very exciting
Do I hear a
scores
commode
tonight.
flushing somewhere in this building?
977 yards of offense between these two teams. So it was exciting on the field as well as in the scoreboard, and we saw it all night.
13 first downs for Mack, 23 for Johnson, 206 rushing for Mack, 213 passing for 419 yards, 401 yards rushing for Johnson, 157 for passing for 558, 2 of 4 third downs, 5 of 8 third downs for Johnson, penalties 5 for 45, and 8 penalties for 90 yards for Johnson.
Yeah, speaking of Johnson, Justin Rodriguez, right at 1,000 yards for the season, came in at 687, so he's probably less than 50 yards away from the 1,000-yard mark. 9 touchdowns, 4 more tonight. So, there's no secret to the formula that Johnson uses in order to score the football. We even had to kind of find out, we didn't get to call a Justin Rodriguez touchdown till later because he even went in and got a different uniform and scored with that.
He changed uniforms and they still couldn't stop him.
And that's why I thought, man, that juke looks familiar because he has those quick jukes, and I thought, wait, is there really another running back that has those jukes? No, it was Justin Rodriguez.
That's the second time this year.
Trying to fake us out, too.
That's the second time this year we've seen him go for over 200 yards. And, the guy handing him the ball is also impressive. And Ty Reasoner, he's got a good arm, over 1,300 yards of offense coming in, and got another 200 tonight. They've got a 1-2 punch, and then on top of that, they got guys with speed. They got guys with good hands on top of it.
Well, Lee from MacArthur's got a pretty good arm on him, too.
Yeah.
Both quarterbacks, pretty strong-arm quarterbacks.
Yeah, Johnson has put a stranglehold on the district, though, going 3-0 so far. And they've got the tiebreaker on Reagan, so Johnson's in the driver's seat.
And tomorrow night, don't forget, it'll be Reagan, Madison, and that's a battle of survival, basically.
Whenever Johnson plays Roosevelt later in the year, that's going to be a big game.
I don't know if we've got that one or not. It's one of those games where.
Yes, we do.
That's, Gary DeLon knows how to call them before the season starts.
Yes, he does.
He knows who's going to be hot and who's not going to be hot. So, even though he's got an OU jacket on, we'll let him.
We'll let him slide.
Yeah, that's why he's not in the camera shot because he's wearing OU. He's not wearing his Gary DeLon Production Sports.
But you know what? Tomorrow night he might be gloating.
I may be going to Jimbo Fisher's party tomorrow.
I hope Oklahoma tears up Texas. I just got to be honest with you. Even though I'm from Texas, I got to tell you, I'm an A&M fan. So anytime
what's going to happen
anytime
at
the
2:30
Longhorns get
tomorrow
broke,
afternoon?
they're probably going to get
30-0.
No, it could be real close, like 27-23, but it could be also a blowout. I think it's all up to Kellen Mond. If he can actually run the ball instead of
they say
eat the ball.
He's going to have to really run the ball tomorrow too.
He throws high every first half. You'll see Mond throw high, and then he seems to settle down the second half. But it may be too late.
I don't care what anybody says. To beat a team like Alabama, you need to play a near-perfect football game. So penalties or turnovers or missed opportunities like they had at Clemson, it doesn't look good. But who knows?
Maybe that's why they play the game.
They could pull something out, and it'd be a signature win. Jimbo Fisher isn't the only former Saban assistant who's never beat him. It's like Saban's 0-16 or 16-0 against the guys who used to coach for him. So somebody's got to be the first, but I think A&M's actually next year.
Yeah.
It could be another episode of Sweet Home Alabama, and that was a pretty good movie, so we'll see.
Well, Saban is asking when he sees Jalen Hurts and how he's playing now, he's like, where did this guy – he didn't play that way for our offense, and now he's up there with Lincoln Riley just tearing it up. I think he's the front runner for the Heisman.
Yeah, he is, and he's got his own rent car business. So
they asked the Oklahoma quarterback what pressure with his first Texas OU game, and he said, "I've played in the Iron Bowl. I think I'll be all right."
I think so, and we think you'll be all right if you join us tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for the game between the Madison Mavericks and the Reagan Rattlers.
Should be a good game.
Want to thank our crew tonight. Charles Vickers, another great job on the sideline. Want to thank Rob Hicks for being at the controls and being a little bossy, but, that's part of his job.
Speaking of bossy, I'm going to jump in here. I got some finals for you.
Good.
Yeah. So Clemens defeats Canyon 41-13. Steele defeats San Marcos 56-3. And Chase, you'll enjoy this. Alamo Heights defeats San Antonio Memorial 49-7.
About time.
Their second win of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the game of the week is the O'Connor Brandeis, and Brandeis defeats O'Connor 37-15.
Wow. That's a big loss for David Molesky and the Panthers.
And in the fourth quarter, Roosevelt and South San are still going at it, but Roosevelt's got this at 46-0 right now in the fourth.
I don't think that you can't call that one yet.
No, too close to call.
Even in the fourth quarter, you may not be able to call that.
South San came in there 4-1, and they come over on this side of the city, and Roosevelt put it to them.
Yeah, I don't think South San they're going to redistrict next year, or they'll realign next year.
They're going to have a realignment somewhere.
Yeah.
But it was an exciting game for me to watch, and I want to thank the young man who took over the play-by-play, just forced me out forcibly, and I have no choice. I'm going to go ahead and go to the retirement center, and Chase Holly, you did a great job, young man.
Thank you. We saw some big plays tonight by both schools, with it being kind of a lopsided score, but there's big plays on both sides, and like we've said all night, MacArthur looks better than a 1-5 team.
Yeah.
You're right, and I think we look better than what our score indicates too. So we'll be back tomorrow night. Mark, thank you for another job, Walter. And final score:
42-21.
42-21.
No, 27. 42-27.
Well, let's get it right before we leave there. 42-27. And we'll be back tomorrow night here on Gary DeLon Production Sports and Facebook and all that stuff. But we hope you join us then. Good night, everybody, from Comalander Stadium. Brought to you by Frostbite. Thanks, everybody, for joining the GDP Sports broadcast of tonight's contest, brought to you by our following sponsors. Frost, more than a century of serving Texans, and now in the Frost Tower.
Central Builders, the Ehrlich family is dedicated to the construction industry with coast-to-coast projects. The law firm of Thomas J. Henry, open 24 hours with legal experts on call. John Lester's Insure One, providing Texans with home and auto protection. By Randolph Brooks Federal Credit Union, a credit union that puts people before profits. By APIA Connected Investors, Shannon DeLon, providing insurance for real estate investors. BCFS, a beacon of hope for families around the world. REMAX, by Chris Collins, buying or selling a dream home in the real estate world. GPS of Texas, peace of mind for all drivers with installed tracking devices. Dr. Eric Kuhl, providing that $1 million smile with the future of dental health. By Gridiron Heroes, dedicated to assisting young men suffering from football-related spinal cord injuries. Cherry Hills Baptist Church, where the Lord provides the football field for eternity. By Mecca Sportswear, supplying the leather jacket of pride for your school and sport. Eagle Print, where San Antonians take their printing for quality and satisfaction since 1974. Also brought to you by one name that stands out in the San Antonio rental car business, Budget Car and Truck Rental on Sandow Road just east of 281 North.